got like drifted off the peak, yeah, the internet key that came. That game was like way over here, and a couple like that came already too when we drifted off the peak. Yeah, because that like looks like you're in the middle of nowhere too.
Tell me about what we're doing. It's pirate radio?
Yeah, we can do whatever we want.
What's with this brunch theme?
We're just working gentlemen's hours. We don't want to burn out, you know. So we don't need to give score updates. We don't need to worry about who's got priority or how much time's remaining. We're just having a chat with some friends.
What about post-heat interviews?
We specialise in during heat interviews. So we're just going to catch up with our buddies for 3 hours every day, over a couple of beverages, bit of chat, bit of banter, maybe dial up some guests.
You think Kelly will call?
We can't get Kelly to stop calling. I think we should get a few waves at some point too. We don't want to work too hard.
Yeah.
Pirates don't work too hard, right? And they drink rum.
Yeah. So we can surf before, we can surf after.
Yeah.
We can drink during. This is starting to sound like it works.
Who the hell are you?
We're the other guys. Good morning and welcome to The Other Guys. We are the Volcom Pipe Pros alternate commentary stream. It's day 2 of the event. That means it's day 2 of myself, Chris Beans, talking to Travis Ferry from White Youth. Travis, how are you, mate?
Very good, Chris. How are you?
Not too bad. How's your Other Guys experience been going so far?
It's good. I feel like we shook out the nerves. I actually just went over to the main stage across the way, and I'm relieved to be back over here in the Pirate Radio station.
Made your debut on the main set. So for those of you who haven't seen The Other Guys before, basically we're going to keep one eye on the action. It's firing at pipe this morning. Well, mainly backdoor, but sort of a lot of 6 to 8 foot tubes being ridden, a lot of heavy wipeouts going down, and some big names starting to come into the draw. But as well as keeping a slight eye on the action, we're mainly going to be focusing on the guests that we have coming in to chat with us. We're also going to dial up a few guys to a video conference call with us. We're just addressing some of the bigger issues in surfing rather than the minute-by-minute, play-by-play action that's going on in the water. So,
but enjoy that. Today that's going to be a bit of a sideshow that we might enjoy taking a look at.
Yeah, I think we
it's
will.
Absolutely pumping, and it's right there.
It sure is. You can see on the screen right now, it's just heaving out there. Plenty of guests already have come and had a chat with us. On the first day, we had guys like Kalani David, Jamie O'Brien, Balaram Stack. Who else do we have on, Travis?
Yeah, we really got into it that first day. We had Kalani David, who's firing up his chapter 2, which was, I think, a highlight for me, seeing him come through. Good skater, good surfer. He was ripping in his heat, so we'll actually see him probably surf while we're in here.
Yeah, I think we've decided he's our boy.
Yeah,
we're
fans.
Getting behind Kalani David. He's not got any sponsors at the moment, but the other guys are definitely throwing all of our support behind him.
We do have stickers, Kalani, if you'd like. We'd like to put you on our team.
We're going to sticker him up. And today, who are we looking at? Well, a couple of sort of the wild children of the free surfing scene. Noah Deane, Mikey Wright, hopefully.
We got good news. Noah's arm is not broken. He got x-rayed. It is not broken. It's a sprain, so he's going to work through that, and he's going to make his way over here.
If he rushes off for a last-minute x-ray today and shines us, then we'll be starting to get suspicious. But apparently he's in the hood. We're going to have him on for a chat later. Mikey Wright needs to check his texts. If anyone out there in the Quicksilver house is sitting next to Mikey, maybe give him a tap on the shoulder and tell him to come and have a chat. Kai Lenny, we just saw in action. He unfortunately got knocked out. I know surfers don't necessarily enjoy doing the post-heat interview. This is not a post-heat interview, Kai, if you're out there. Let's talk about everything that goes on in your wild world. If you're following us on Facebook, Red Bull Surfing and Stab Magazine are both streaming this live on their Facebook channels. Feel free to jump on board with some comments, some questions. Let us know what you're enjoying, what you're not. And, you know, we're all about you guys. As who was that getting tubed right then? That was a pretty nice little in and out. Probably just going to be a minor score, mid-ranger, because that is how good the waves are today.
But very adorable inside peak that I would have enjoyed. But it's kind of those mean ones that come through every about 15, 20 minutes. And they say that the swell is building, which is terrifying to think about. And it's going to be getting bigger from today until Saturday, I think. So
I love that you called that adorable. There's a word that has never before graced the WSL webcast.
I think I learned that from Benji Weatherly was calling waves cute for a really long time, and I kind of adopted that from him. He likes cute waves, I guess.
All right. Well, we've just recapped what we've been up to. Let's have a quick lap of the bases and see what's been happening in surfing. First bit of big news is tragic for anyone out there who was close to Pierre Agnes, the CEO of Quicksilver. He was lost at sea off Biarritz in the last couple of days, and Air and Sea Rescue, the search has been called off. So it's tragic news. Obviously everyone's hoping for a miracle, but things aren't looking good from the south of France. He was one of the pioneers of surfing in Europe. Quicksilver have sponsored literally every incredible surfer who's ever set foot in wax over the years. You name it, they've all worn the mountain and the wave on their beak at some point. And he is just a huge character in the surfing world.
And for someone with CEO role, he was one of those guys that I know all the surfers really gravitated towards. A true waterman, and just a really likable guy from what I hear. Didn't personally know him, but definitely be remiss to not bring him up and send our condolences. But yeah, definitely a good guy, and I'm sure he'll be very missed. Yeah,
so fingers crossed for a miracle from the south of France, but yeah, thinking of everyone who's close to Pierre Agnes. Other news, on a more positive note, the wave pool media embargo has been lifted.
This is a big day. This is a really big day. There's people puffing out their chests walking around this place, claiming, showing waves. There's surf selfies going down everywhere you look from media members who should probably generally keep that to themselves.
Never before have so many magazine guys posted video clips of themselves on the same day.
It's full on out here right now with that, but fair enough. Pretty cool experience, I'm sure. I've obviously got my opinions on it, but it is surreal to look at, and they got their first taste. There's some good commentary actually out there on the wave pools. I read pretty in-depth Nick Carroll's descriptions on just about every channel. He really got around yesterday writing about it.
Well, he took advantage of Australia being a day ahead.
He did. He was able to jump the gun.
Oh, boy, was Nick out in front. If you're giving it a 3-2-1, I'm probably going to say that Michael Ciramella from Stab Magazine won the contest.
He was getting scores for sure.
I'm going to slide Kote into second.
I'm going to put Kote. I liked his approach. He had a little backhand cover up, and then
drainer.
Yeah, I think being on the backhand is probably unique, and Chris kind of nailed that.
And then I'm giving Vaughn Blakey 3rd place, Nick Carroll 4th. That's probably your final right there. There are a few other guys, Derek Riley, the beloved Chaz Smith.
He bounced off whatever is on the bottom. Is it coping, concrete?
The Kunji.
Yeah, is it dirt, manure? I'm not sure, but he bounced off of it.
So anyway, we've been talking ad nauseum about wave pools because we weren't embargoed because the other guys don't get invites to wave pools, but no worries.
I was invited.
Oh, you?
I got invited. I politely declined.
Mason Ho has a new part out. Tell us all about that, Trev.
That part, Mason Ho continues to absolutely blow my mind with, I don't know where he's filming these. There's waves in this new part. I'm sure he must be hanging out with boogie boarders because there's waves that they're barely surfable.
They're not surfable.
They're not. They're actually not. Yeah, and he does it. And I got very jazzed watching that this week. I've watched it several times. He's got pipe in there, and then he's got these rock jumps that I don't know how you define, but he continues to keep surfing as fun as it can be.
How does he not get hurt?
He must be elastic and got that Hawaiian water sense.
He edits his clips like as he's about to hit the rocks. Like there's no way he doesn't hit these rocks.
Yeah.
And yet you see him and he's just like rocking around. He's not cut up.
No, yeah. His boards seem to survive. I don't know what the Biolis is putting in them, but they're making it through this.
They're not just his boards either. He was ripping on one of Carissa's.
Oh, really?
The pink railed spray was doing all sorts of stuff. And then finally, a new day means new drinks.
Oh boy, this is my favorite part of the day.
Yeah, we have Makani Adric bringing out coconuts for the day.
Oh, a little easier to manage than the pineapple we had last time.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
How are you, Makani?
Good. How are you guys?
Not too bad. Do you want to talk us through what we're dealing with here?
Okay, so today we have a Orange Oasis mocktail. We got some fresh coconuts, and inside the ingredients are going to be freshly squeezed lime juice. We got some fresh coconut water, coconut puree, some muddled mint, and then we top it off with our orange edition from Red Bull.
So it's hydrating.
Oh wow, it's being made right now. This is exciting.
So we're spiking it. This is the spike.
All right, a double pour. Oh wow. Look at that. All right. Thank you very much.
Another great new can from Red Bull. This is a good one.
And then we got you guys some straws.
Beautiful.
Oh, well, I hope you brought yourself one. Is that off set?
Thank you very much. Same straws from the first day because we're being sustainable around here.
Yep.
And some mint.
Reusable straws and some fresh mint.
Cheers.
That's it.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
The day has begun. Reviews are in.
Oh,
I like that one.
That's delightful.
Yeah, that's electric.
The coconut really blocks up the straw, but otherwise, oh, we're in trouble here. Oh, my coconut's not flat. Okay. All right. Good stuff. We're meant to have a guest. Do we have a guest? Where are we going from here?
We don't need a guest. Look at the waves.
Oh, we don't have a guest. All right, we're going to go straight into... We're going to play a game. Everyone's favourite game here on The Other Guys. Good or bad for surfing?
You want me to take that one?
Okay. Well, we had Jamie O'Brien on the other day saying that he was happy they died.
Magazine.
Surf magazines. Good or bad for surfing?
Jamie, you must know if you're listening. It was hard for us to hear that, me and Chris, both current and former magazine editors, but I completely wholeheartedly back what you've done with your access to Instagram, the platform, and I enjoy watching, so more power to you, and we'll keep doing our thing at the magazines, but I'm fine with that.
I believe surf magazines are good for surfing. That would be kind of blasphemous for me to say anything otherwise, really.
Yeah, I'm definitely not going to fight you on that one too much, but I think they do need to evolve. I think we all need to evolve as an industry, as the modern times, and instead of just bickering about it. Yeah, Instagram's here, yeah, spots are getting blown out. People are people are soft topping pipeline, but hopefully as long as it stays to be the right guys and doesn't get too out of hand, because I know it can get serious with what they're doing. But yeah,
speaking of surf cams, someone's on the camera right now getting kind of drained out of back door. That'll be a mid-ranger.
The one thing I miss that I think surf magazines can do, though, and however you define it, you can change it to media, magazines, whatever you want, but just getting like more eclectic groups of people surfing together, like putting together a trip that ranges from Noah to Kai Lenny. Who knows? We can get 2 of the best free surfers on a trip doing something. I think that power is kind of exciting and kind of always keeps doors open. So for that reason alone, just for the creativity of kind of putting that together, I think that's important to surfing, and yeah, just keeping crews on the road.
And how good seeing a surf photo like big.
It's
not
funny,
just the size of your telephone.
I have to say, Tom Carey posted a photo on his Instagram, and you guys can go check it out. It's of Noah at Rocky Point. I think it's just a straight backside air, but it's got that feeling where if you can imagine what it would feel like to see that spread, it's fresh, it's Noah in Hawaii. Gives you that little buzz that Instagram doesn't quite do, but I could imagine that thing in print would have been one of those showstoppers. There is an absolute diamond. Oh, catching everyone inside.
And a big old closeout right behind it. All right, next topic, surf schools, good or bad for surfing?
Well, it sounds like it's keeping a lot of communities
afloat,
running and people surfing and not getting real desk jobs, so I 100% back that. Keeping everyone outside, teaching people the right way to surf. I'll be honest, I think they're great, especially with more access to soft tops and just these different things that people who aren't accustomed to being in the ocean on with a craft, them getting access to some knowledge from a local or someone who knows what they're doing is just going to help lineups. Otherwise, it can be downright dangerous. And yeah, learn a few things.
I got a continuation of surf schools. What about surf coaches? Like if you're learning to ski, there's no shame in getting a ski instructor involved from any level, beginner all the way up to being an advanced skier. But it seems like surfing, it's somewhat taboo to have any kind of coach unless you're a pro on the world tour. What do you think about it? You know, if you're a mid-ranger, going and tuning up with your local pro on the weekends.
Yeah, and I think maybe it's the way I define it, but that kind of knowledge I think gets passed along the rails of surf spots as you grow up with people and make your way through lineups, and that's kind of an abstract way to look at a coach, but because I don't think anyone should be really telling you when you get to the level these guys know how to surf, how to turn, and how to do these different things. I think that kind of homogenizes our styles, and if you look at the World Tour, there's a lot of similar styles, in my opinion, but that's my opinion. So obviously there's a lot of more pressure now on the World Tour with the way it's presented, and guys want to be as tuned in as they can, but I think there's a little bit of spice that's left out.
All right, last topic before we introduce our first guest. Guitars, good or bad for surfing?
They're good. They have to be good. I mean, going on trips, and you see these guys, gets them away from their phone for one. Anything to get a guy away from his phone on a trip.
It depends. There's only so many times you can hear a badly tuned version of Stairway to Heaven.
Oh, I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. I don't really want to watch your video that you've posted on Instagram of you playing guitar or singing, unless you recorded it. I don't know. I'm not. But play away. But I guess that's the problem with social media in general. I have way too much access to all of you.
Right. Okay, we're going to cut to a quick break. When we come back, our first guest for the day is Hawaiian standout Kamana Hakias. He's coming our way any second now, so don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with more of the other guys after this.
We need a miracle, a miracle, a miracle man. We need a miracle, a miracle, a miracle man. We need a miracle, a miracle, a miracle man. We need a miracle, a miracle, I'm comfortable with my simple steps. Miracle, a miracle, a miracle man. We need a miracle, a miracle, a miracle man. See it's all around your head like a hurricane. It echoes through the halls of your beautiful veins. The shock is the awe of a reaction. So everybody pray to a midnight sun. I wanna know the truth.
We're the other guys, the Volcom Pipeline Pros alternate commentary stream. Chris Binns here alongside Travis Ferre, and our first guest for day 2, Kai Lenny. Mate, you were surfing in those sessions we just saw, edited up by Ryan Moss. What was it like out here at Pipe last week?
It was pumping. It was crazy. Little rip within everything, but the guys who did get ones, they were charging. Yeah.
You're obviously holding onto your clips for a bigger project.
If I got something, I hope someone gave it to me, you know. But yeah. I was just out there trying to get something.
And you were just in the water right then with 3 Maui boys. Tough heat. It's kind of pumping out there. Want to run us through it?
First of all, thank you for coming out. He just lost.
I just lost.
We know what you can do, so we're not worried about that. Yeah, thanks for coming on.
And this is definitely not a post-heat interview, so don't tell us that they're all good competitors.
Yeah.
Dish some dirt. Were they snaking you?
You know what? It was the 3 Maui boys. They ganged up on me. Nah, it was all good. Ola and Hank, they got really good waves. Me and Kai were just on the search pretty much the whole heat.
Did you guys talk about it before going out there? How do they distribute priority?
There's no talking whatsoever. It's clear deck, you know, and it's pretty much whoever rolls first, and then priority goes on gentleman's seat after that. But it was fun. I was just in the bad rotation, so
yeah, that can happen.
Yeah.
Did you surf this morning in the warm-up?
No, I actually had to go back to my house to go grab smaller boards. I thought it was going to be pumping this morning, but it was only like 3-4 foot.
You hear this guy? He says that wasn't pumping. He's probably out there packing 6-foot backdoor and not pumping. But that just shows what this place does and what you surf on the average. What's your program been like this year over here?
I'm just trying to get good waves. That's it. You know, the circus has kind of left town. This is about the last of it. So everyone's here. I'm just trying to get good waves. That's it.
Don't tell anyone. This is the magic hour after December till February and March. This is your guys' time.
Oh, I don't know. Lately, it's been even later than that.
It keeps going.
Yeah, like April's had waves lately.
Global warming.
Yeah. Everybody.
And what's your program the rest of the year?
Honestly, lately the contest scene has been really weird, you know. So, and it's cost a lot of money. So I've been kind of just handpicking where I want to go and stuff. But if the waves aren't good, I don't even want to spend the money to go do a QS and 1-foot waves. But the goal is just to get into the Triple Crown. I don't really care about anything else. I just want to perform here at home.
That's right. We were saying it's hard for Hawaiian crew coming up to leave, and I see why as soon as I land.
Yeah. I mean, what? We got John. He's got the world title already.
Yeah,
what else do we have to do?
We're just here defending, waiting for our turn.
Yeah.
I crossed paths with you in the 3000 last year in the Philippines. That's obviously an event you handpicked.
Oh, yeah.
Kind of got a little bit skunked. It wasn't as good as it could be. But a cool thing that came out from that was your old boy was surfing in the comp.
Yeah.
And got pretty piped in his heat.
Oh, Pops went hard, but he broke his board first wave.
In the tube?
In the tube.
I remember
somehow came out with a broken board, and then I had to run out
and
his
then it
board.
flipped up and kind of hit him in the face.
Yeah. Craziest stuff ever, but that was the first QS he came with me for I don't know how many years. And I just told him, we're both Filipino, you know. I told him, God, this is a wave that it's backdoor. If it's good, it's pumping. If not, we're whatever. The waves are still fun.
Yeah. Was that the first time either of you guys had been in the Philippines?
No, that was actually my 4th time.
Oh, wow.
That's why I was for a while, I've been trying to get him to come over. So.
Yeah, cool.
What's the vibe like around a contest like that?
Crazy.
Crazy.
The town goes mad for it. They have this month-long festival, and the event finishes right kind of on starts on the last weekend of that festival. And there's just people everywhere. The Prime Minister comes out. It's sponsored by local telephone companies and airlines. And
so we need to figure that back out in our world.
That's right.
They're throwing parties for the whole country.
Yeah, the tower at Cloud 9 is this 200-meter long boardwalk out to this humongous structure right in front of the wave, and it's a tourist attraction. It's on T-shirts and postcards. It's we built this wooden tower. Check it out.
The whole country comes to that little island just for that event.
Yeah. Did you have to have a word with your dad after he sort of went out and started getting barreled in his heat? It's oh, don't show me up, old boy. For those of you who don't know, Kaimana's dad, Kaipo, World Tour surfer back in the day, absolute legend, and
still rips.
He's still
clearly
riding the wide. He always had the wider outline before
crazy,
before that became in vogue, I guess.
You'd think his boards are a lot wider than everyone's, but it's actually a lot skinnier. It stays wide. It's crazy. Yeah, he rides I think 18 1/4.
Yeah.
but
That's
like
cool.
just stays that length the
Yeah.
whole way.
I just remember watching that growing up, going like, he was smoking
Yeah,
everyone
weird.
in heats. I'm like, maybe I need to look into this.
It's funny because my boards, he's maybe 20 pounds heavier than me, but his boards are a lot smaller.
Who shapes your boards? Who shapes your dad's boards?
We ride for a shaper named Yoshi Umeda. He lives right here in Haleiwa. Been around for a while.
Awesome.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Like, obviously, this is a surfing hub right here on the North Shore, but there's so many shapers.
Yeah.
Every big name surfer from Hawaii seems to have a different shaper.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
That relationship's huge.
Yeah, it's for here. It's like when you're growing up, the shaper will kind of mold around you, you know, because they see us growing up, and the waves are so powerful. It doesn't really matter what you ride at a certain point, but then as you get older, everyone's at the same, you know, level, and everything needs to get down to that technical level.
Yeah.
Like, I'm still figuring it out, you know.
Who are you looking to? I mean, John's probably obvious and hometown hero for you, but who's kind of one of your favorites, and who are you watching? John's almost up here. He's still here. Who's firing you up?
Obviously everyone looks at John, but he's almost like he's on another level. Like, he lived here, you know.
Yeah.
Him and Jamie are probably up there, but then there's guys like the Rothmans. You know, they handpick waves really well out here.
Yeah.
All the Volcom guys, Kaimana Henry, you know, Mikey Red. There's so many names out here that I could list off, but if I don't list a couple of names, I'm gonna get in trouble. So.
It's funny, this round, I actually look forward to it. You'll see the wave be surfed. It's an early round, and it's a lot of locals, but
Right.
you know, guys who don't travel around as much, but they'll surf this wave so good, and then the next few rounds, there's going to be guys who just aren't experienced. They're higher ranked, but the level goes down for a little bit for a couple rounds, so you get back up.
Right.
But
even out here, though, when the waves are this perfect, it's like if you pick the right wave, all you got to do is stand there. You know, so
it's that easy, everyone.
Yeah.
Especially when it's 2-3 foot like this.
Yeah. I mean, no, it's actually bigger. I take that back. But it's like in this kind of conditions, for me, I would say, like, you know, anybody could win. It's like if you got the balls, just go. Yeah.
What are we in for? Is it gonna get crazy?
It's supposed to be bigger already, I think, but I think the direction, it's just not coming in as well. That's why off the wall looks almost better right now.
Yeah, it's firing. All right, we play a game here on the other guys. It's called Good or Bad for Surfing. And we're going to throw some topics at you right now. So, Kaimana Hakias.
Yeah.
Costco soft top surfboards, are they good or bad for surfing?
I'd say good. They got the lifetime warranty.
Really?
Economical.
Yeah. You break one, you can bring it right back and get another one.
How many are you taking back?
I've taken maybe back 2.
Not bad.
Yeah,
Is there
not
like they
bad.
get to a point where it's 3 and they're like, sorry?
Yeah, no, honestly, if you got the receipt, you're good.
Wow.
Yeah, so in that way, it's good because you can just break whatever you want.
Very resourceful.
Yeah, not
That's a
bad.
resourceful surfboard.
All right, next topic. Surf schools, are they good or bad for surfing?
I think it depends where it is,
Uh-huh.
but I would say it's good because there's a lot of bad shit going on in the world right now. You know, the more you can get kids in the water, the more they're out of the bad.
100%.
Yeah.
I think more surfers is good, and I think that knowledge they get from the guys who play them or teach them in
Right,
surf
right.
schools.
Is Kelly Slater good or bad for surfing?
Right now? I'm just kidding. No, he's the man. I honestly think the sport needs him still. Yeah, he's the godfather, alien, you know. He's going to take this thing to new levels that we don't even know about yet. He probably sees stuff 10 years ahead of us.
Do him and John come from the same planet?
Who knows? Yeah, crazy.
Or what about Kai Lenny? Like, he's another one from...
Kai,
Where on earth
from
does that
planet-
go?
I know. Yeah, he's like Jake of all trades, you know. He can do whatever he wants.
I was looking at his stats yesterday. He's won world titles in kite surfing, stand-up paddle surfing. He's winning the big wave world tour right now.
Yeah.
Like,
Have you done any of this stuff? The foiling, the alternate? Are you windsurfing around?
I've tried it, and it's just not for me. I'm like, you know what? That's just a channel that I'm not gonna
You're the first
go.
person that said that it's not for you.
No,
Everybody else we've had is like all for it. I'm skeptical, but
No, I'm shortboard to the death.
that's cool. I back that tradition.
Yes.
What else we got?
I think we're pretty much done. We're going to cut to a quick break. We're going to thank Kaimana for coming on and having a chat with the other guys.
Yeah.
And this is a clip of Kolohe and Dino. Oh, no, we got one more good or bad for surfing. Dave Wassel.
Oh, Dave, where is he?
He's our next guest. He's just over there waiting in the wings.
Dave's always good. The things that come out of his mouth is
Yeah, we're going to
top-notch.
just start jotting them down.
Yeah.
We need,
All right.
we need new words.
Dave Wassel, good for surfing. Kaimana Hakia's great for surfing. We've got a clip of Kolohe and Dino coming up right now. When we come back, the Wassel Hoff is joining us on the set of the other guys. Don't go away. Welcome back to the other guys. This is the Volcom Pipe Pro alternate commentary stream, pirate radio, if you will, car park vibes. We're the other guys, Chris Binns, Travis Ferre from What Youth, and this is the guy.
Another headliner
Dave
from
Wassel
across the beach,
himself.
across the yard.
Thank you, gentlemen. I really appreciate being able to get on the broadcast with you
Mate,
guys.
anytime.
Right on.
If you're getting bored over there, come have a chat with us.
The other guys are what's happening right now.
We have mocktails, we have Barack.
It's very tropical. I love what you've done with the place. Binzy getting in touch with his feminine side.
Yeah, I got a Pinterest board. We've been working overtime on this thing. We got some happy snaps from our holidays on the wall.
What's the details?
It's all happening. Dave, tell us about what's been going on.
What's been going on is the waves are firing, absolutely firing. But what I do see as I'm looking down the coast, which is on your screen just to the left, I see some white caps approaching from that southwest direction. Really nervous about those. As long as the wind stays south, it stays straight offshore and gives us beautiful conditions. I think
Wind has been the topic. It seems like wind.
Okay,
as
I can
always.
only do so much.
Yeah.
I apologize.
You probably have.
Are you comfortable?
I'm very
okay.
comfortable.
You guys
Look
doing
at how
okay?
lovely this
yes.
is.
A light breeze wouldn't go astray as far as I'm concerned. But
Here, it's an interesting subject, though, right? For the surf crowd, they know what we're talking about. For everybody else, besides Sonny Garcia,
Yeah, we have Sonny Garcia out at backdoor right
everybody
now.
else in the world, I always use a snow reference. So if you're standing on a mountain, all you know is that it's snowing. It doesn't matter if it's falling from behind you or in front of you or from the side. It doesn't matter. When surfing, everything is very particular. Not only the swell direction, how it's approaching the land that you're surfing, but how the wind is approaching that wave. So for your non-surf fans out there, there's a lot to be desired here in Hawaiian.
talk to us about this season so far, because it wasn't the greatest December, was it? Or was
Well,
it?
it depends on where you're looking.
Okay.
Okay, you spend a lot of time in Indonesia, right?
Yep.
There's more than one spot in Indonesia, correct?
Absolutely.
Okay, depending on the wind, depending on the swell direction, those who are more in tune will know where to go. This 7-mile miracle known as the North Shore, it's not a straight line. There's nooks and crannies all over. You ever come down to the beach at Pipeline? Walk out right in front of the lifeguard tower and head on over to Pipeline and look to your left. Go, wait, where's Waimea? Oh, my goodness, it's tucked way in there to the left. Look off to your right, and you'll notice that you're just as far out as Sunset Point, standing on this berm of sand. So Rocky Point and gas chambers are way inside as well. So those little subtleties will help you, hopefully, help you realize where to go for your next surf, depending on wind direction, swell direction, that kind of thing.
So these guys who are living in these multi-million-dollar team houses saying that the surf's been pretty shitty.
At this 7-meter stretch,
They need to
branch out.
jump on the bicycle.
I would
Branch
love to
out.
take a beach walk with Dave along the North Shore and get some of this info.
That sounded really creepy, but
It does.
let's just go surfing. Let's
just
just go
imagine
surfing,
me and Dave
pal.
walking along and the details I can learn about this place with Dave at the helm. I mean, I just learned.
We can definitely go for a surf sometime.
All right, let's do it.
Yeah, no problem.
Uh-oh,
Dave.
I don't know what I just got myself into.
By the way, I just think it's awesome that Sonny Garcia's in a heat. He walked through the back of our set yesterday. And I was
We
like,
nearly fell over. The aura.
Such an
around Sonny.
epic comp in that regard. Dave, you've been a lifeguard on the North Shore for years.
Yes, sir.
Tell us a little bit about that, because you guys have, I mean, it's not great, but you keep popping up at the moment because there's just been so many big rescues over the last couple of years.
You know what? Somebody was just actually in the office doing the books, and there was 50 rescues alone in December at Pipeline. 50. So even if you say, okay, a quarter of those, what would have happened had lifeguards not been here? A quarter of those would have been fatalities. You know, we've got Dusty Payne. Luckily, because he is the toughest man on the planet, literally, physically, and mentally stronger than any other human around, he's still with us. Half an hour later, we had another man pass away. So 2 fatalities, and the surf was not even this big, okay? So, you know, sometimes people come here and say, oh, what are you doing as a lifeguard? You must just be cruising, man. This is the life. I'm like, yeah, it's all good until it's not.
Yeah.
But, you know, thankfully, I have great partners.
And
The
you would
best-
love to cruise. You happily sit in the stand all
You
day
know
long.
what? When the rain comes, I'm loving it. Absolutely. Bring the rain, bring the wind, because I'm getting paid the same. It really doesn't matter. So my job goes from 0 to, our job goes from 0 to 100 in the snap of a finger. And I'm just lucky that my partners happen to be really good at what they do.
And is there a hierarchy? Like, I know nothing about it, but the Hawaiian lifeguards obviously cover the whole island. Is that one body?
Yes.
So then if you're on the North Shore, is that like guys who are sort of more proficient around surf?
You're put into a district.
Yep.
You're put into a district. The North Shore district stretches from Kaina Point all the way over to Chinaman's Hat, Mokuli'i, on the east side, and that's a big, long stretch. So, but the focus is here on these 7 miles. A lot of people don't want it. Some do.
Sure.
Some transfer out here and then go, you know what? I'm not ready for this. There's physical demands at every beach that you work at.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I'm sure if you're at Waikiki, you'd think, this is easy, but you're looking at thousands of people the whole time.
Great point. Yes, and I'm not going to get into what happens there, but incredible way to work on your medical skills.
Oh, I bet.
And perhaps some of your second language skills as well.
Yeah.
We have 9 million visitors to this island.
Well, I
last
think
year.
anyone who's tuned into a lot of webcasts doesn't know what language you speak half the time.
Thank you so much. Because I'm not speaking the Queen's proper English, Binzi? Is that
I think
why?
it's fantastic. It
Yeah.
breaks out from the normal cookie cutter mold of commentary. I mean,
Yeah,
Travis just called a wave adorable, which that was amazing.
Yeah. Dave's like, I've never seen an adorable wave. One's idea.
I want to see one. I want to see one. I'm at that point in my life that I need more adorable waves.
Do you carry around a sheet of, like Chris Cote came on here and unveiled a magic sheet of new words that he's working to work into the broadcast, just ways to describe waves. You know, being in the booth is.
I shoot off the hip. I just shoot off the hip. I like Chris's approach, and he's very professional. But I shoot from the hip. I react. Okay, he's an anchor where I'm more color. I beg to ask you, is my commentary colorful?
Absolutely.
Yes,
There we go.
I absolutely love
there
it.
we go.
It's the
Where do the Wasselisms come from?
Guys like you, just sitting next to you. I'm a big fan of life. I try to pay attention more than not,
Yeah.
and so pick up on the little subtleties, whether it's the weather, the wind, the swell, the people, little nuances here and there. That's what makes everybody so unique, isn't it?
Right.
Why not pay attention to that?
Talking about being a fan of life, if I can tell a Wassel story. Cape Fear 2 years ago. Craziest surf event you could ever be at.
Horrifying.
Massive party and celebration. There's no signs of Wassel. Catch up later on the next day, and instead of partying, you went to bed. You got up at like 4 in the morning, drove 4 hours out in the countryside, went bow hunting with some friends, and were back in time for your afternoon flight out of Sydney in your 3 days in Australia.
We barbecued. We barbecued.
I'm sure that's
It was great. And the only problem that I have with bow hunting in a foreign country is I don't get to bring the meat back. So, yes, my friends got to take it home, but I definitely made sure that I was able to get a meal out of it. You guys really are living in the lucky country. It's phenomenal. It is such a... And some people look at it as, oh, my goodness, that's such a terrible thing that you're doing. Really? How about the whole... I think everybody's a vegan because they don't agree with the whole meat industry.
Oh, if
I'm
you
out
kill
there
it,
hunting
you
and
eat it.
harvesting.
Yeah.
Whether it's from the mountains, the vegetables, or animals, and from the ocean, from the seafood. I'm not
What do you hunt in Australia?
there's 6 types of deer
Really?
right within stone's throw of the Gold Coast.
Wow.
Yeah, put that
It's
in your
hard,
pipe and smoke
hard
it.
to picture that when you're in the Gold Coast.
But the Cape Fear, where'd you go off to? The Blue Mountains or something?
Yeah, sure. I don't know. I have no idea. That place is so big. I am just fortunate, and that's the beauty of social media, is making these contacts ahead of time. And I had some friends, say, drive to this point, we'll pick you up, we'll drive the rest of the way. It's great.
Did you
actually
fly to Australia with your hunting
Yes,
gear?
I do. Yes, I do. I actually wrote an article for that, and was introduced to to bow hunting by Shane Dorian. But I've taken it further than that with some other friends, and I wrote an article. It's actually out in Wild Deer magazine, which is an Australian publication.
Oh, I must have missed it on the stands.
Yeah,
but I will
I think if you go to a servo, you might be able to pick it up, or at least view it.
You're good. So yeah, next time I'm picking up a pie and some dead horse at the servo, I'll keep an eye out for deer hunting magazines.
Well, put it this way. I'm not here to judge anybody, so please don't judge me, but I can produce food on the table for my family without going to Foodland.
And you make your own jerky too?
I brought some smoked venison yesterday.
I saw you deliver it to Chris. That looked
There we go.
lovely.
There we go. So
He
that
was
was
thrilled.
last week. We had a break in between the action as far as surf and contest, and I was able to getting a little low on the venison in the fridge. So
Well, we can probably fit some in a little tray here. Just feel free. Just planting a seed. Just
I'll have a barbecue. Okay.
bring it on.
We have a big sporting event coming up. Sunday is the Super Bowl, which is football. I couldn't even tell you who's in it. I'm just kidding. The only reason I know that the New England Patriots are in it is because Dusty Payne is the biggest New England Patriots fan in the world.
Yeah, Dusty crushed me last
And
year.
is Dusty? How is Dusty? Is he up and about?
He has got pride in his side and pep in his step, and he's at home.
Yep.
And I've talked to his father, and he's doing really well. It's a long road to recovery. It's 4 to 6 weeks until he gets his jaw. His jaw was broken, and so it got wired shut. All the surgeries went well. He's doing great. But, it's a long road to recovery from here. Especially, he is a vegan, but not being able to exercise at the same time. He's lost a bit of weight, but he's doing good.
Yep.
Strong mind, strong body, great heart, and he'll be watching. He'll be watching the.
No doubt about it.
And he's actually doing a really nice thing, actually, because of this. What transpired? Basically, Dusty Payne was knocked unconscious, drowned, and was revived on the beach here at Backdoor with the help of surfers and lifeguards. I said, hey, should we start a GoFundMe page, Dad? First thing you do is rush to the hospital. Yeah. Dad's there already. What do we need to do? I said, no, he's got good health insurance. Everything's going well. And he called me and said, you know what, Dave, let's start a GoFundMe page for the North Shore Lifeguard Association. Let's take whatever we can from this and use it to make sure to ensure that not only the lifeguards are taken care of, but more educating the public. So we're going to be running a clinic down here on Friday. You guys are more than welcome to come in, and it's the basic knowledge that everybody needs. You crack a joke about speaking English, sure, we all need to speak English. More importantly, we all need to know CPR and how to get somebody out of the water, because as surfers, you're going to be the first one on scene.
Oh, without
Yeah,
doubt.
you're in there.
So
That's one of the most important
be a
messages.
doer.
to learn
Yeah.
from this.
So that's where we're going with that. And
Yeah,
thank
that
you
Friday.
very much to the Pain.
Grab that, yeah.
Yeah. I'll come over and grab you guys.
Okay.
Absolutely. That sounds really cool. All right, what else can we talk about, Dave? How's the state of Hawaiian surfing these days? There's an amazing push going on. We just saw Finn McGill win a World Junior Championship.
You got the World Junior and the World Champ.
Yeah. And
White.
And we've got past world champion Sonny Garcia in this heat, absolutely blowing up. He's in green. This young man taking notes.
yeah, this is Harley Ross. He's from the Northern Beaches. So it's a pretty wild contest.
Yeah,
Some young
who you
kid
get
from,
pitted up against each other. It's really
from the Northern Beaches of Sydney, and you come up against Sonny Garcia
At
pretty
Pipeline.
pumping backdoor pipeline.
Right. Sonny just made 48 years young, January 14th.
That is incredible.
And I'd like to say that congratulations to him. I know there's 5 minutes left, but definitely got by far the two best backdoor waves, the 7 and a 5.
And Luke Shepherdson and Kiko Casimiro are no slouches either.
Are they in this heat?
Yeah.
How's that?
Yeah, it's stacked.
How's that?
We-
Oh my gosh.
we
Luke
just had-
Shepherdson actually just took the lifeguard test. Go ahead. What were you going to say?
Oh,
Yep.
I was just going to say we had Komana Hakias on last heat. He had Kai Lenny, Ola Eliogram, and Hank Gaskell in his heat.
This round is incredible.
It's wonderful that the Volcom is doing this and allowing a lot of these people, a lot of the traveling pros, don't get as good a wave as they are today.
Yep.
So with the 4-man priority, fantastic. You know, I'm sure they all wish there was 4-man priority. Actually, there is 4-man priority no matter what, whether it's in a contest or not, because it's usually
Sonny Garcia gets anyone if he wants.
Derek Ho, Michael Ho, and probably Jamie O'Brien. You know, throw in John when he shows up, but that's it. There's really everybody else is scrapping for everything else.
And what's your personal program these days? You still pull the Rashi on for the Yeti?
Yeah, I'll do specific big wave events. I do
hear
like
you
to
surfing
chase.
later, too.
I will be surfing in this event. I'm fortunate enough that I'm still getting backed by Volcom. They're putting me in the last chance qualifier, which is kind of a cool event because it's a half-an-hour heat where there's 8 men in the water, but only one makes it, and it's only one single ride that's
Best
counted.
wave, right? Yeah.
Yes.
Bruce a couple of years ago got that crazy 9 to take that out.
Right, and Kawhi Lindo, what made it go from 2 waves to 1 wave is Kawhi Lindo, who's actually Michael and Derek's nephew, their sister's son. He got a perfect 10 in his heat, but wasn't able to back it up. And people went, you know what? This is more Vegas style than anything. It's a roll of the dice. From now on, we're going to only warrant the position moving forward into the round of 96 based on one single ride. So all or nothing, guys. I love
That'll
it.
be fun to watch. Yeah.
I'm pretty excited. As long as these winds stay clean, I'm cool, man, because there's cookers out there.
Yeah.
So who's in your heat then?
The who's who.
I can't imagine.
Derek Ho, Jamie O'Brien, you
Wow.
name any of the world's best pipe surfers, they're in that heat. And so it's, you know what, I'll say that I'm always surfing pipeline with the world's best anyhow, so only have 8 of them is kind of a treat. Okay, I'm cool with that. I just want to go out there and have some fun.
All right, speaking of having fun, we play a game here on The Other Guys called Good or Bad for Surfing. We're going to throw some topics at you. Here's your thinking music. Hydrofoils, are they good or bad for surfing?
They're great for everybody else. They're bad for me.
You've got an experience? You got a story to tell?
You know what? I'm just glad that I did not see the guy get completely decapitated by it. For training purposes, for a cardio workout, sure. Not in a crowded lineup.
Yeah. Okay. Other extreme, Costco soft tops, good or bad for surfing?
Good for Jamie O'Brien.
Kaimano was psyched because he says they got a lifetime guarantee. He says he's taken 2 broken ones back already, and they just swap it out for you.
Okay, I think it's good depending on where you're riding. I think it's great for the general public, but they're bad for your nipples. Wear a jersey. They will rub those things completely off.
All right, good or bad for surfing? Global warming.
Hey, surfing? How is surfing for global warming?
No, how is global warming good for surfing or bad for surfing?
Oh, it's hideous. It's absolutely hideous. It's one of the most horrifying things I've ever thought of. High tide can kill a wave here in the Hawaiian Islands at 2.5 feet. Add another 8 inches on that in the next couple of years. There goes pipeline. We'll see you later.
Could open up a bunch of other spots.
Or it could wash away all these front row houses.
Time to buy on the other side of the highway. Long-term punt.
There we go. So yeah, it's absolutely hideous. I'm glad that people are thinking about it now. I hope it's not too late.
Yeah, well, this event's all sustainable. We're all eating out of compostable plates and cups. It's great.
We got here's one
Even
more.
our straws. These are the same straws we used yesterday, and they're not plastic.
Reused. What about the Olympics? What are your thoughts on the Olympics? Surfing in the Olympics?
Phenomenal. Phenomenal. I think it's probably the best idea Kelly Slater ever had was to create that wave pool, because that will be in the Olympics. I'm sure to the fact that you can't have it at a Chinese beach break, because it takes the fact that, oh, you got a better wave than he did. There's no unparalleled uneven bars that are more uneven or less parallel than the others for one guy to the next, right? You don't get a pommel horse, you know. I'm vertically challenged, so I don't get a lower pommel horse if I'm in the Olympics. So that's just how it goes, and I think it's a great thing, and it will bring a lot of talent to the stage. It will also bring those wave pools to Middle America. How many more John Johns are out there? 90% of our population lives interior.
Yeah, that'll be really interesting to see. And that's what we were saying, when we have someone that's on the elite level at surfing who's never been in the ocean, is very possible.
Who's never duck dived.
Never
Right.
had
Will,
to duck
okay,
dive.
will it be some Chinese acrobat who wins the Olympics doing double backflips on a wave? I'm curious to see this.
Yep.
Could happen.
And the Chinese are making a push. We got,
They are. They're putting a team together, right?
Is it Ian Cairns or Peter Townend's over there? Hayden Shapes is over there giving them boards. It's all happening.
I like
They've
it.
got a long stretch of coast
like
off
it.
Taiwan, all that sort of stuff. Dave Wassel, always a pleasure having you on the other
That
guys.
was fun.
Gentlemen,
Let's
thank
do
you
it a
so
couple
much.
more times before the show is through. Good luck in your heat.
Thank you.
Oh yeah, we'll be
Don't-
watching.
Don't let those other guys push you around.
I know what I'm looking for.
All right.
Thanks.
All right, speaking of perfect pipeline, we're going to cut to a sessions edit that's on the Red Bull Surfing website right now, featuring some crazy waves from Pipe just last week. And when we come back, skateboarder, photographer, and new North Shore resident, Arto Saari, is coming in for a chat. Don't go anywhere.
We need a miracle, a miracle, a miracle man. We need a miracle, a miracle, a miracle man. We need a miracle, a miracle, a miracle man. We need a miracle, a miracle, a miracle man. I'm comfortable with my cynical stare. We need a miracle, a miracle, a miracle man. We need a miracle, a miracle, a miracle man. See it all around your head like a hurricane. It echoes through the halls of your beautiful face. The shark is the art of a reaction. So everybody pray to a midnight sun. I wanna know, I wanna know.
We're the other guys. That's right, we are the other guys. My name's Chris Binns. I'm the editor of Red Bull Surfing's Global Output. Next to me, Travis Ferre from What Youth, and a very special guest. Travis, introduce your friend.
We got Arto Saari here when we're on the North Shore. This is, I'm excited.
All right, how you doing?
How are you, Arto?
Pretty good, pretty good. Just doing my best impression of living aloha over here. Yeah.
So you live here now. Tell me about this.
Yeah, it just all happened in a couple of days, actually. I put my house up for sale in LA and ended up selling in like 5 days, and I was like, well, I guess I got to pack up, put everything in a container, and go.
And you just wanted the Hawaiian lifestyle.
Yeah, and so a couple of weeks later, the container was here, and so were we, and we're just trying to make it happen.
Yeah, I have to tell you, I met Arto, I think it was probably 4 years ago in Copenhagen for a skate trip that What Youth was doing, and we just started talking about surfing, and he's just so interested by it and like confused, and we loved his skating, and his career obviously inspired us. But
yeah, no, I wasn't surfing back then. I never even
No,
stood
yeah,
up
you'd
on a wave by
You're
by
from
that time.
Finland originally?
Yeah, I grew up in Finland, yeah.
Are there any waves in Finland?
I think there is one.
Little corner. There's got to be a little corner right
Yeah,
down the
about
bottom.
6 p.m. every time that the cruise ship takes off from the harbor to Sweden, you get one wave. That's the wake. That's about it. No, there's actually a couple of surfers in Finland that are frothing pretty hard. It's it's mostly wind swell, winter time, snowing.
yeah, it's
but
not
it's
warm.
it's like maybe shoulder high at best.
Do you have any coast up the top, or is that Norway and Russia kind of taking care of all that?
No, it's all landmass up north, so it's more the southwestern coastline,
Yep.
which is sea. It's not the ocean; it's the Barents Sea. So it has to be a storm or
Yep.
wind swell or whatever. But there's a couple of heavy frothers. There's a cool documentary about him. The couple of buddies did Pablo Films in Finland, like a couple of the hardcore guys that surf in the winter and save their money, take it, go south of Europe and stuff.
The skate scene's a lot bigger.
Skate scene's a lot bigger, yeah. Surprisingly enough, there's more concrete than there is waves for sure.
And you guys represent in the snowboarding too. There's plenty of Finnish big names over the years as well.
Yeah. No, snowboarding is definitely huge. There's a lot of good parks and stuff, and obviously the winters are 8 to 10 months long, so there's
So
plenty,
let's hear
plenty
about
of snow.
your surf career. How's that coming along? Arto's surf adventure. Now he's based on the North Shore.
Well, surfing, I started surfing about a year and a half ago, and then I was like, well, if I need to learn how to surf, I better just come over here
Yeah.
and just figure it out, because over here it's sink or swim, and mostly I'm just
Sinking?
most of the time I'm just sinking. I'm under the water for a couple hours a day.
So you haven't dropped a man turn yet.
No, there's definitely haven't been any man turns that's been done. It's more like it's just a newborn baby deer.
We were trying to explain to Arto when we were showing him photos of surfing when we first met him what things were called, and then just like big carve, like that's a man turn, and he's like, what? Skaters actually name things very technical things, and we just get away with saying man turn, I guess.
The man turn is pretty sick though. Man turn is like you get the point. I've seen some heavy man turns. I haven't experienced it myself yet, but
So what's it like being here at Pipeline, watching this go down for you? With your background, obviously you've been at the elite on your skateboard side and photography side. Now you're at the pinnacle of surfing.
I mean, this is surreal. It doesn't seem real at all. You got some of the best waves in the world and some of the best riders just right in your front yard. It's pretty sick. And it's a couple of times this winter I've seen it come to life. When it really starts cooking, it's pretty impressive. I felt a few times like there were some waves where my whole house shook and the windows are shaking, and I'm a little bit up the hill, but you can still feel it.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Have you been out of your league yet since you've been over here? Surfing waves maybe a little too big?
Pretty much
Every
every time I go out, I'm out of my league. But I've been mostly going the chuns and taking it easy and just kind of trying to figure that wave out. But there's been a couple of days where it just closes up way on the outside, and just snapped the leash there before and got tumbled onto the reef, thinking I'm gonna die, and just that's it. All right, I give up, and then I put my feet on the ground. I'm ankle deep water. I'm like, okay, I just got tumbled all the way from outside all the way back to the beach. It's like, okay, cool. Where's my board?
And
No one saw that.
Yeah,
All right.
where's everyone?
I was like, I'm gone. Okay.
I've seen your Instagram feed. You're getting some surf photos going now too.
Yeah. I'll be lurking on the beach here and there. When it gets good, like I'll just jam out, shoot a couple of frames.
Is that keeping photography fresh? You got a whole new
No, totally.
new environment to document.
Yeah, no, I mean shooting. It's a whole different environment. It's a little bit different than living right dead center of Hollywood. Oh, someone's getting some over there right now. Yeah, no, it's awesome. It's definitely inspirational to shoot different stuff and shooting another sport, that's not skating, and just kind of trying to figure out what's what. You know, it's all new to me. So yeah, it definitely keeps my photography fresh.
You got a housing yet, or any plans?
I did get a housing when I got here. Right, I put it on the boat and make sure I got one. But I've been just frothing so hard. I haven't put a camera in it yet. I've been just like I've been surfing myself. That's gonna come later.
The stoke is real.
Well, Zach Noyle's walking out the beach right now. He's one of the big dog photographers in the Pipeline Totem.
He's all kitted out.
Have you spoken to any of the photographers out here yet? Getting to know any of them?
A little bit. I've met Jim Rusi in the water a couple times, and obviously Tom Carey with Volcom. Speak to those guys. I met a couple of the people, but obviously you can't just swim out there with a camera and just be like, oh, I'm just gonna shoot the water. Like, you have to know the water first, and that's one of the reasons why I haven't tried to drag the camera out there, because I'm not that familiar with it yet. I don't want to lose it.
Yeah.
So.
And what about the skate community out here? John skates. Grayson's always out here ripping. And is there a cool community for you to hang and participate in? And Kalani David said you were working on some different skate park things were in the works, maybe. And
Kalani David just joined the other guy's team, by the way. He's our first team rider.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, awesome. That's sick. Yeah, the skate scene is pretty cool over here. I mean, you got the Bonsai skate park, obviously, and you got a couple of private things to skate, and obviously Sheepside, and then there's a bunch of more stuff in town. But the skate scene's it's pretty tight. It's still pretty small, but there's definitely there's some heavy hitters out there, and obviously during the contest and all that, everyone comes out here. So I was like, I didn't even skip a beat coming over here. It's like you see Cardiel cycling by, and Grayson's over, Hasoy, a bunch of these different people come and have a session at the park. It's like, it's the same as being dead center of Hollywood. Like it's
Jay Adams would be serving you your margarita at Cholo's.
Yeah, no, it's totally, it's sick.
Are you missing the pool? Your pool?
I'm starting to. I'm starting to miss the pool. Hence, I started digging a giant hole on the property now. So there's like a giant gaping hole of red dirt.
So you bought a big chunk of land out here, is that?
Yeah, I got a little bit of land. Yeah. So they put a couple of houses on it and some skate stuff. Rest of it is just gonna be skate stuff. Just a permanent wave going through the property.
Yeah. Arto's new skate park's just a big wave.
Yeah, I'm just gonna do a replica of like 3-foot chuns.
His dream wave.
Yeah.
And are there any specific projects over here in Hawaii that you sort of see yourself getting into down the line over the next few years?
Hopefully, yeah. I've been just kind of taking it easy, and I was renovating a home when I got here. I just had a newborn baby, so I basically haven't been left home yet.
Congratulations.
Thank you. So I've been so busy that I haven't really had time to sink in and just kind of explore the island. I've been just so busy with home life that I've been just kind of trying to get everything sorted and, pick up on projects, come this year, by the end of the year. Hopefully be able to start doing more stuff.
What passport does your baby inherit?
Hawaiian. that was like, babe, we got to get to Hawaii before so he can claim he's local. He's a local brother.
That's cool.
It's completely white.
Are you still paying attention to the skate scene? Obviously, like what are your thoughts on, let's say, the Olympics and skateboarding? And what's your position? It's obviously like hotly debated in the skate scene, but
I mean, I think it's cool. I mean, I think skateboarding in the Olympics is totally cool, but people forget that doesn't represent the whole thing of skateboarding. That's one part of skateboarding. That's the competitive side, the super athlete side, and skateboarding's gotten that big that it's in there. It's like awesome. Like, have those guys go do it, have them get paid, do their thing. Epic. You know, it's gonna help promote skateboarding in a lot of countries that maybe frowned upon it, and there's probably going to be a lot more skate parks getting built for kids that don't have access to it. So
What's the format in the Olympics? Is it a bowl comp or is it?
Assuming it's like a park, right?
I thought it was like the barrel jump, and
Yeah.
it's like a ski jump replica.
So full pipe.
How many loops can you do in a row?
Some
There's
of the
definitely
freestyle sort of stuff.
Yeah, how many 360s in a row? I mean, I think they should have put barrel jump in there for sure.
What
I
do you?
mean,
What do the skate guys wear?
That's going to be interesting.
They're going to have to have a uniform of some sort. The BMX guys kind of did it in the
You
last
have to have a uniform for a skate.
I mean, I assume it's a lot of spandex. You know,
You hope so.
big
It's a good
numbers.
assumption.
Yeah, it's gonna be sick.
That's
It's
gonna
gonna
be baggy.
It's funny though. I mean, we're laughing and joking about it, but you look at sort of the Zephyr team back in the day when they were storming those comps. They had uniforms and
Yeah. I
team
guess
spirit going
it's
on.
in the culture somewhere.
Yeah.
in there,
And
you know.
And they're the forefathers.
Yeah. You would know better than me.
No, for
Zephyr
sure. I
team.
mean, you look at skateboarding from the 70s, 80s, 90s to now, how obviously the boards have changed, but how also the culture and the gear and the clothing and everything's kind of evolved with it, and it's going to be interesting to see where it goes from here. Maybe it kind of does a full circle and goes back into some outrageous neon colors and stuff like that.
Where does, bigger picture, where does skateboarding go from here? I mean, surfing, we're looking at guys are getting into flips and inverts and this sort of stuff. The waves guys are riding are bigger and bigger and bigger. What's skateboarding's kind of evolution going to be over the next few years?
I mean, the level of skateboarding in the last 10 years has grown so much that I didn't think it was going to get to this level, and how technically advanced and big it's getting. I mean, before it was kind of technical, people would be really technical, and then there'd be people doing big stuff. Now it's all that's getting combined, and people are just so gnarly that I don't know how much bigger it can get, because I mean, Danny and Bob and all those guys doing Mega Ramp, like, your equipment changes.
Yeah.
The boards they're riding are totally different from what you can ride on street. They're so huge that you can't operate them going at normal speed. You got to be going 60 miles an hour to, so that itself is another sport or an art form or whatever you want to call it. Like Mega Ramp, that's a whole evolution on its own.
Yeah, it's like toe surfing or foilboard. There's all these
Yeah.
different things that are touching into the surf world.
Toe in surfing or what, whatever. It's on another scale, and there's only a handful of people that can actually do it, and obviously have access to that kind of equipment. But as far as street skating goes, in the 90s it was very separated. It was street skating, technical skating, small wheels, small trucks, very technical, manuals, low to the ground. 80s it was more ramp skating and pool skating. Before that it was downhills and pools and kind of very surf. I mean, skateboarding came from surfing. That's all. All came from back there. And now all those things that it's gone through 70s, 80s, 90s, 2000s, now all that stuff is getting combined.
Yeah, we kind of hate the cultures kind of got away from each other for a while. I feel like in the 90s, and even when you were putting out parts, it was like you weren't hanging with surfers very much, even though you're in Huntington Beach.
No. It was totally like,
yeah, beat it. And now you're on the North Shore surfing chuns every day, and I mean, What Youth is a magazine that started in surfing, and then we literally met you, and we're like, whoa, skating. We admired all the skaters. What do you think about that combination kind of coming back around?
I think it's sick, and that goes back to what I was saying before, where skateboarding as a whole is growing, and you're not just a street skater, you're not just a vert skater or a pool skater or whatever. If you want to be a professional skateboarder this day and age, you have to be able to do it all, whether it's technical stuff or pools or handrails or whatever. It's like, now you're a skateboarder. You're not just this or that, you're a skateboarder. How Mark Gonzalez was in the video days, back in the day, he would skate, do the sickest backside airs on vert, and then just board slide down kink rails and all that stuff.
Did it all.
And now I think it's going even further into the fact where skateboarders are most of them are back into accepting surfing. It's like, okay, that's where it came from. And a lot of skaters surf. And I think you can see the flow in people. The people that surf and skate definitely have better style than most people that only skate, or vice versa. It's like, I think both of those things really work together, feed off of each other.
We were saying before, it's almost like they got the wrong Olympics for surfing and skating to go into. We should have gone into Winter Olympics. We could hang out with the snowboarders as well.
Yeah.
We had a round table.
Tight little
figured it
team.
all out.
Yeah.
get everybody back together.
Yeah, no, that'd be awesome. Yeah, how do you almost have to? Well, I feel like the Olympics kind of have to evolve and cater into these newer sports that are happening. You know, they have to adapt. You know, there's a lot of changes going on. So
The Olympics committee obviously realised that there's a lot more people watching the X Games than the National Fencing Championships.
yeah,
And go, we want to get a piece of that.
no, of course. Yeah,
And,
I think
it's great to see a brand like Volcom as well that's across all of those sorts of sports, and they bring guys like you and the surfers all together.
yeah.
And obviously the Volcom house is a welcoming place for you here on the North Shore.
Yeah, no, totally. Yeah, we had friends with all those guys, and they're like, yeah, come over anytime, blah, blah, blah. So it's like, you know, come and check the waves, say what's up, whatever.
Who is your favorite surfer? Who's Arto's favorite surfer?
Dude, I love Mason Ho is so
Yes.
sick. Lately I've been so psyched. I mean, he looks like he just has the most fun over there. He's fucking around, whether it's a big wave, gnarly wave, or shore break, or whitewash, whatever. He's just...
It's really hard
he's
not
playing.
to say he's your favorite to anyone. We're all just like,
Dude, he just looks like he has the most fun over there.
Yeah.
He's just dicking around, having fun, and just doing gnarly stuff at the same time.
Yeah.
It's like
What
you
about
can't-
skateboarding? Who do you like right now?
who do I like right now?
That's probably a big question for you.
Oh god, that's hard. I mean, Louis Lopez, obviously, like, you know, modern day skateboarding, he does it really good. You know,
Yeah.
he does it really well. Obviously, Grayson is great to watch. He's always entertaining. Curran, who else? I'm drawing a blank.
No, those
Noah Montez at the park. He's rad. He's super fun. But yeah, there's so many rad people out there. So there's every time you open Thrasher or whatever, and just like the gnarliest, biggest, newest, some random kid. It's like,
Yeah.
whoa, skateboarding's rad. It's the level is so insanely high. But then again, it comes to style with someone like Curran and Louis and Grayson. Like, you can tell those guys got it.
Jamie Foy just won Skater of the Year. Where did he come from?
Florida. I mean, yeah, he definitely came out of nowhere, and he did it really fast. I was actually talking to Michael Burnett from Thrasher about it. It's like, it happened real fast for him. He was an AM a year ago, and the next minute, he's Thrasher Skater of the Year, and he's, you know, right up there with all the greats.
And like you were saying, a combination of going big and technical.
Yeah. And from Crook and El Toro, the cover shot out of Thrasher, it was one try, and then just landed it, boom. And it's one of those rails that you don't want to mess around with either. It's like, you either do it or you don't. He's
You
got
don't
it
get
like
too
that.
many shots at that.
Yeah.
From
You
what
know,
I've seen. Yeah.
no, you get pretty demolished.
Yeah.
And run us through a little bit. How did you get into photography? Was it just a hobby that sort of gained legs, or?
Yeah, no, I mean, skateboarding, growing up skateboarding, photography, videography goes hand in hand. So always started shooting, just having cameras around, skating with your friends and stuff like that. And then somewhere around early 2000s, traveling a lot and skating. So I picked up a couple of cameras and just kind of started shooting docu-style with my friends and just having memories of the trip with the boys, you know. And then obviously through skateboarding, just going ham and just getting hurt all the time and getting knocked out here and there. I was like, you know, it takes a little bit of time to recoup, so I started shooting too on the sidelines when I was recovering, and it kind of just evolved from there, shooting 10, 12 years of just shooting, and eventually getting a little bit older, skateboarding slowing down a little bit more, having more time to shoot. I actually started hitting up magazines, and different people's like, hey, I got some photos, you guys want to run them? And it slowly started from there. But
Explain the different feelings between the first time you got a shot of yourself running a magazine versus the first time a shot you took got run in a magazine.
yeah, I don't know. I think I might be more psyched on my first photo getting run in a magazine, because I mean I was obviously a lot older and
Had
I just
perspective
I
on the
had a
whole
little
thing.
bit more perspective on it.
Appreciate it more, yeah.
And I put more work to it. Like when I was a kid, I was just skating. Oh, some guy wanted to shoot a photo of me. Like, cool, put it in a magazine. Like, sick. I mean, you know, it wasn't like I was stoked, but at the same time, I was just out there doing it. But the photography part was definitely I had to work for it a little bit more.
Were you shooting film originally, or did you start the digital era?
Yeah, no, I started shooting early 2000s. So I started shooting with the FM2, mostly black and white. Got a little cheat sheet from Skin Phillips. He was like, this is how you shoot black and white. 400 speed film, 500 shutter and above, freezes action, push 2 straps, more grain, like all these little notes. And I just carried that with me for a year or two and just just snapping photos of that, trying to figure out the film. It's like, you know, half the roll is black or whatever, or blurry, and you know, oh, what's the aperture? What does that do? What does shutter do? Oh, you know.
Yeah, the tech.
But you know, once you figure all that out, you know, it's all fun and games. You know, you're just traveling the world with your friends shooting photos.
It's funny, we had Vaughn Blakey in yesterday, and Travis, myself, and Vaughn have all edited Surf Mags, and we got getting tubed right there. Andrew Jacobson just couldn't quite sneak out of that one. We did. And we were sort of all on the cusp of the transfer over to digital, and you know, the transfer's gone even further because now there's social media, which really seems to be the all-prevailing thing. You know, we saw this photo from Tom Carey yesterday of Noah Deane doing this crazy punt. Travis is like, oh man, I don't want to see it this big. I want to see it in a magazine.
I want to see it printed. Yeah. Well, there is a famous quote that the photograph's not done until it's printed. So, I mean, you know, a lot of
Jamie, come back. Remember that.
A lot of this day and age photographs, it's like it's half there and it just gets thrown on gram or whatever. Yeah, it's pretty insane. I mean, going from shooting on film, the learning curve of getting everything right, getting the scan, the magazine, getting it published, someone seeing it. There's a big gap there, and also a lot of quality control. You know, right now you just got a million images going out there every day, and a lot of the good shit gets lost in there. You know. Yeah,
that Noah Deane photo that Tom shot was probably surrounded by like somebody on Kook Slams eating it, and then
some girl's bum.
Some girl in a bikini, or I don't know, just like the chaos and the tempo is really hard to put into perspective when you're flicking through your Instagram. It's not the same.
Have you seen much of Noah's surfing since you've been here?
A little bit, yeah. I've seen. Yeah, he's incredible. I got a couple of shots of him too, surfing pipe, but.
Good skater too. Skates goofy.
Yeah, he does.
Surfs, surfs natural, skates goofy. How does that work?
Really?
Yeah.
It's bizarre.
Yeah.
We might ask him because he's our next guest coming up in a second.
Yeah, no, you should. I want to know that. I want to know what that's all about. How do you even do that? That's insane. Or is he surfing switch or skating switch? Then like what?
Yeah.
So
he
surfs regular.
Yeah, he should just claim he's surfing switch.
Then
the
he
whole
plays
time.
his guitar like backwards, like Kurt Cobain did too.
Does anyone surf switch? What if you drop into a barrel switch and ride a switch? Do you get judged differently for that, or would people even be like, oh, he just rode that backwards?
Guys have never really done it too much in competition. Jamie will surf switch or pull in backhand pig dog switch and then come out.
Yeah.
Regular.
Oh, they switch stand in the tube.
Yeah.
Okay.
Kelly got a bomb in the Padang comp a few years ago where he took off switch, got his first barrel switch, then jumped to natural, then got the second section pig dog. I think he got a massive score for that.
Oh, okay, sick. Yeah, so they do take note of that. If it's just like, okay, he's going both ways. Because obviously in skating, that's a big thing. It's like
that's
you
huge
do something back. Yeah, you surf some, skate some switch or whatever. That's double the points basically.
Maybe that's the next step for surfing. Double-ended boards. There've been all sorts of attempts of retractable
how good
fins.
Skaters are at it. Yeah, no stance a guy is a lot of times when they're that tech. And surfing, we don't have any of that. I don't know if it's the discipline that throws it off or waves or what, but it's really interesting that there's not a few more.
I can skate switch a little bit, but I'd be terrified trying to drop into a wave switch.
Like
that would be,
maybe it's the standing up switch that screws you up.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and tripping over your leg rope and all sorts of stuff.
Yeah, leg rope.
All right, we're going to ask Noah Deane about it because he's waiting in the rings. Arto Saari, it's been a pleasure and a privilege. Thanks for coming in and having a chat with the other guys.
Aloha.
We're going to throw right now to a clip of Noah Deane surfing, natural foot, with maybe an edit or two in there of him skating goofy foot, who's to say. When we come back, we're going to talk to the man himself, the free surfing phenom, who's right here on the North Shore about to compete on the Volcom Pipe Pro.
Tell me about what we're doing. It's pirate radio?
Yeah, we can do whatever we want.
What's with this brunch theme?
We're just working gentlemen's hours. We don't want to burn out, you know. So we don't need to give score updates. We don't need to worry about who's got priority or how much time's remaining. We're just having a chat with some friends.
What about post-heat interviews?
We specialise in during heat interviews. So we're just going to catch up with our buddies for 3 hours every day, over a couple of beverages, bit of chat, bit of banter, maybe dial up some guests.
You think Kelly will call?
We can't get Kelly to stop calling. I think we should get a few waves at some point too. We don't want to work too hard.
Yeah.
Pirates don't work too hard, right? And they drink rum.
Yeah. So we can surf before, we can surf after. We can drink during. This surf.
Who the hell are you?
We're the other guys. Hello and welcome back to The Other Guys. Myself, Chris Binns from Red Bull Surfing, Travis Ferre from Watt Youth. We're joined by a very special guest, Noah Deane from Coolangatta on the Gold Coast of Australia. And Noah, welcome to The Other Guys.
Thanks for having me on here.
We just had skate legend Arto Saari on the panel, and he was baffled when we told him that you surf natural and skate goofy foot, and wants to know what's up with that.
He's literally standing behind. He wants to hear what the answer was. He's that curious.
I think. Whoa.
There's crazy waves we should probably acknowledge.
Whoa.
It's firing out there. As Kaimana Hekia said, it is 2 to 3 foot at pipe this morning. These Hawaiians are lunatics.
Yeah, it's like 8 foot in size.
Yeah, he literally said that. It's like 2-3 foot.
That's so heavy. Yeah, I think I was meant to be a goofy foot surfer. But my dad maybe switched me when I was young.
Really?
Pretty sure, yeah.
We have a clip of you. I think he was on a trip we did to France, and you're watching a surf school, and there's a bunch of kids popping up on boards, and you're like, that kid needs to be a natural footer, that kid needs to be goofy. Like, these kids are all wrong.
Yeah, I think you can get it wrong, maybe.
Yeah.
But you got to change if you live where a right hand point is, you know.
Maybe that's what happened to me. Maybe we're backwards.
And who is it? Ry Craig. He's the opposite. He was born a natural footer, and his dad John went, no, not from Calbarry.
Yeah, he's stoked that his dad did that.
Isn't he?
So
it'll be a bummer.
Noah, what are you doing here? North Shore.
Yeah. John, who you're meant to be in a heat with in a couple of days' time, is on the Gold Coast, and Noah is on
Ground
the North
Zero,
Shore.
pipe, ready to
What
go.
is happening right now?
I thought I saw him on Instagram saying he's trying to confuse the enemy the other day.
It was like
Mind
Arto.
games.
Yeah, mind games.
You've got him rattled.
Hopefully not with me though.
Yeah, you're like, no, cool.
I just figured I'll be in his heat and he'll just smoke me, so that's what I figured. But
Well, after your performance the other couple weeks ago over here, like, you got some waves.
yeah,
you
I got
some
a couple.
experience.
Yeah.
How's that change your mindset a little bit? Was it good to kind of get blasted on a backdoor one and then make one and
Yeah.
get it all out of the way?
Yeah, it was pretty scary though. I guess I wanted to come over here and just free surf, but Volcom were like, oh, what about you going 2 comps? And I was like, oh, but stoked I did it. I think it's better to surf in a comp out here than in the free surf because you can actually get waves.
Yeah, it's a good
100%.
place to
And
get.
it's pretty good. Yeah, really good for that, for sure.
Run us through the whole Volcom experience so far. Obviously, when you signed with them, you must have known deep down that they're going to try to push you to do this sort of stuff.
Yeah, I thought it was going to be first year, but somehow I got out of that, which I was pretty stoked on. But then,
Slipped through.
yeah, then they were like, I guess they're changing the date of this comp, so they're like, it's the last chance to do it when it's going to be good, you know? Or not in winter, you know? So pretty stoked to get to do it.
This contest is, I swear, it's different. It's always felt different. I've come to it before, and it's the Volcom guys. It's got a good vibe. The waves are usually good.
Yeah, totally.
There's a lot of unique like surfers you don't always see. Like Gavin's around. Like they're just cool people you don't get to see surf backdoor that much.
Sonny Garcia just won his heat.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was sick. Sonny was getting epic ones.
Yeah.
No,
Dominating.
Gav's been the sickest over here, you know?
Yeah,
Surfing with him.
Who do you hang with? Yeah, you surf with Gavin a lot?
Well, I guess just at the house, everyone's there hanging out. I've been hanging out with Mitch the last couple of days, which has been funny. But
yeah,
Gavin's there every day. Kaimana.
Run us through the whole house dynamic. When you sign with Volcom, you come to Hawaii for the first time, and you're like, what's going to happen here? Do they haze you when you rock up, or do they give you a guard of honor?
Who picks you up at the airport? You're like,
Yeah, I think Richie and I were just talking about it before. You get a nickname, kind of, I think, but I haven't really.
You haven't got one yet?
I don't think so.
Oh.
Everyone just
Noah
says.
Deane needs a nickname. For
Everyone
the
just
North
talks
Shore.
to me in Australian in weird accents, which is pretty funny. So I guess that's what happens, you know.
Yeah.
And are you straight into the Jerry house, or are you in
Yeah.
the B house next door?
In the Jerry house, which is sick, but the other house is sick too. You know,
And
I
is it-
always
is-
hang out at both of them.
You know, money on contracts aside, you can't really put a dollar value on just staying right here in front of pipe and off the wall.
Nah, I think that's why a lot of Volcom guys have gotten good over the years, just from being there for months on end, you know, or whatever, just cruising at the house, and you can kind of pick your windows when it's going to be good and just hit it, you know, when you see it's uncrowded or
Yeah.
feeling it.
What wave do you like over here? Besides, I mean, obviously, like when you get your windows here, but do you venture out anywhere else?
Yeah, I like Rockies heaps.
Yeah, we
But-
saw that sick photo you got, that backside.
Oh yeah.
On Tom's thing.
Yeah, Tom likes Rockies too. But
Look at
it's
that.
I think when you start staying here, you just kind of don't really venture anywhere else.
Yeah, sort of, because everything in front of you is usually pretty good.
Yeah.
Or it's like, it is what it is.
Oh, someone's
God.
getting drained
Whoa.
right now.
Oh, I think that.
I think we're seeing replays
Yeah, we saw
right
a replay,
now.
but wait till you see the next replay.
That's Anthony Walsh, just dropped a 9.5 on his backhand. He's an Aussie who has put in years on the North Shore.
Yeah. I seen him get a crazy one last time I was here.
Really?
Yeah. sick.
Charlie Quiveron got a decent one before, and
You also don't miss a good one when you stay right there. Like, you get to see everyone's good one.
Yeah, that's.
Oh, this is a quite a runner.
Whoa.
Oh, he didn't make it.
Damn. Bummer.
What's Noah Deane's strategy in Heat 1? Backdoor.
exercise ball,
Yeah.
standing on one leg, throwing the tennis ball, headphones, listening to Tool.
I don't know. I just hope Mason gets in our heat.
Is that possible?
Yeah,
Have we
if he
looked
gets
into that?
second in his heat.
Okay. We all have to.
Oh, that was
Whoa.
Finn going down.
Oh, man.
Charging.
Man, for
Oh.
3-foot waves, it's got quite a punch.
Yeah. We, you hear that, everyone? We need to vote Mason into
Second place.
John Noah Mason Heat.
That would
Potentially
be
upcoming.
Yeah, that would be so
time.
sick.
I'll tune in.
I think last time, just watching Mason I was freaking out on the beach here, and then as soon as I got out there, Mason's like, "No, you're psyched. It's sick." And that kind of got me all pumped and not as scared, you know. So
Oh,
it's-
before during the shootout?
yeah, because I was kind of just watching him in the heat before, from the channel, just getting so hyped.
How much time had you spent out here before the shootout contest?
I guess not that much.
Well, you'd surfed it.
Yeah, I
fair
surfed
enough in time.
Yeah, I surfed it heaps of times. I just didn't get any waves.
Yeah.
How much time do you reckon you put in on the North Shore over the years?
Like in years, or
Yeah,
in like
sort of been
weeks
here
or something?
4 or 5 different times.
Yeah,
or
for
4 or
sure.
5 different winters.
Yeah, I think 5 or 6 maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And now that you're sort of staying right here, you reckon you might ramp that up a little bit, or
Yeah, I think so.
are the points back home? You know, does it kind of grind your gears when you're seeing John surfing snapper and whatnot at the moment? Hey, man.
I kind of hate surfing snapper. I think.
Yeah, you've never been. I think it's been pumping, and we took a tour of it with you and just watched.
Yeah. Yeah. It's just too crowded.
Yeah.
But
it's
I mean,
where are you
the
living
waves
at
are
home
just
these
cooler
days?
out here. At this place called Bangalore. But
You guys might know
I
that.
surf at Ballina and stuff.
Yeah.
Where all the sharks are.
Tell us about Bangalore, because for those of you who aren't aware, that's kind of like inland of Byron Bay.
Yeah.
Byron Bay is astronomically expensive.
Yeah.
And unless you're Wilco, you can't really afford to live on the beach.
Fully.
And everyone else, Bangalore is like the raddest little country town you'll ever find.
Yeah, it's pretty sick. It's got a really good skate park, and then it's kind of close to the highway to drive to the waves.
And
It's got a cool pub too.
who's your crew? Guys
Good
like
pub,
Creeder in
good
town?
skate park.
Yeah, well, Creed and Tobes were in town. They kind of moved, and then there's Ellis and Bo kind of live around there. Everyone kind of lives around, so we hang out a fair bit.
And what's the farm where everyone hangs out, plays
That's-
guitars and shapes boards and stuff?
Yeah, that's Ellis's house. That's pretty sick. It's just by itself out on a farm, so you can jam and stuff. And
It's a
be
throwback
loud.
to 1975 Australian surfing.
Yeah,
like,
totally.
Shaping.
Well, it's
surfing.
actually the old pub, I guess, like
Really?
rebuilt on some land, which is pretty funny.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, the first time I went to the Bangalore pub, my mate was like, oh, not the pub, the Bowls Club. He's like, yeah,
Yeah.
we'll just go for dinner at the Bowls Club. I was like, oh, yeah. Rocked in wearing flip-flops and shorts, and it was like the trendiest place you've ever been. They're serving craft beers, and there's like
Oh yeah.
guys eating sliders with like skewers through them, and I was
It's
like,
got
kids
all-
are running around looking cooler than I'll ever look.
Then
Crazy.
It's weird mixing now at the bolo. It's like the hot, like core drinkers are down there at like 2, and then once it's 5, it's like all hip out.
All the scarf
Hips
wearers
up,
come
yeah.
in their Land Rover Defenders.
Oh yeah, totally.
So, no, what have you been filming? What are you working on? What's
Working on a part for Volcom. I think it's coming out in June or July.
is it as nerve-wracking as your cluster part?
No. Nothing will ever be that bad.
That bad?
Yeah.
Was that a nightmare? Was that worse than the heat?
Yeah, for sure.
What made it that way?
I guess just wanting to get really good clips makes you pretty angry. And like, I don't know.
It's
You
sort
have a couple of trips in a row where you're like nailing it, and then you start stacking it all together and it just looks all the same, and then you're just tripping. I think that's what kept happening. Kept getting clips, but
you felt
not
like the
getting better
variety
ones.
wasn't there?
Yeah, just not getting better ones. And
So how does that work? Are you talking to Kai Neville, and he's like, all right, here's your clips. You might notice a few trends here. A lot of air reverses. Any chance we could get a few more tubes, a few hacks?
yeah, I guess it wasn't really like that, but
Can you
it was
jump off a
kinda just-
couple cliffs? And
It was kind of just like, oh, like a good clip that you were stoked on, and then you just get another good clip that you're stoked on, but you're like, which one's better? And you're like, damn it, this sucks.
Yeah.
And he's ruthless too with his editing, right? Like you might have something you think's decent, and he'll just go like,
Yeah,
delete.
for sure. Yeah, sometimes.
There's probably like 7 Noah parts that could have come out of that guy. Where's the footage?
Yeah, that was heavy. We did a lot of trips. Me and Blake.
Yeah. Yeah, you got to really know each other.
Yeah.
You and your filmer get to know each other on the road.
So funny.
It's kind of like a coach in a weird way. Your travel buddy. Well, we've got a clip of you.
Do we? We got some music? What's this music
Oh,
all
this is
about?
Super suck.
yeah. You went over there with Ozzy and Mitch, right?
Yeah.
And Osmo Trombo. Yeah, was the film you got mine.
That's it.
Kind of your first Volcom trip. I saw you break out at rash guard. You had like kind of old Bruce style, like.
Getting the rash guard out. Trying not to get completely scolded in Bali.
This will be your first contest rash guard because in the shootout you didn't even have to wear one.
Yeah. So last time
kind of interesting.
I know last time I did one, I think it was in China.
Really?
Wow.
Pretty funny. Pushed a Chinese guy into some waves because he couldn't catch his own waves. It was pretty funny.
In a heat.
Yeah, in a
the
heat.
guy you were surfing against.
Yeah. He got third though. I got second, I think. But maybe Benji ran one, or maybe his brother.
You got it though. You got the guy who
Yeah.
gave him a tap.
Yeah. But he probably could have got me. I think I got like a 2 and a 3.
So you're in a 3,000 here. Is the plan to use the points from this to then go on and get yourself into the
What's your strategy
primes
for the QS?
I think that's what everyone says, and it's just so funny. Like,
So we won't be seeing you in what is that? Oz next, right? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't think
Not
so.
off to Manly for the.
Nah.
You competed a bit when you were a kid, right? I saw
Yeah.
you in World Juniors at Burleigh once.
Yeah, I've
Did the
definitely
junior
competed
series.
a bunch.
And your old boy Wayne, legend back in the day.
Yeah.
Was he sort of won national titles and all that sort of thing in
Yeah.
Australia?
Uh-huh. He won a world title on longboard. It's pretty cool.
Is he better known for his longboarding or for his sort of? I guess he was riding like 7-foot single fins back in the day, anyway.
Yeah, I think he's more known for just surfing at Kira. Well, there's been some good waves in this heat.
Yeah. What is it that you don't like about contests, you think? I mean, obviously the whole world, like, I love watching your video parts and that. I'm totally content with that. But I think you obviously probably feel pressure or just like people are, give you that. And it's like, what's wrong with it? Do you think it's like because it's stale or can't innovate? Just want to.
Yeah, I think it's just. Well, that was a sick one. So hard on your backside and back door. It looks like.
Yeah, it's Walshy. He's
Unreadable.
put
Yeah, he
in
can
his
read
time
it.
over here.
Yeah, wow. He's crazy. for sure. I don't know. I think it's just you got to put a lot of time in, and then you don't get a lot of time to get like video parts unless you're John. You do it all.
Yeah.
You know? But for normal people, it's kind of hard to do both.
Yeah.
And
No, you're so normal.
if you go if you go one way, you kind of it's a bit hard to go the other way.
Yeah.
I think.
What was your board riders growing up?
Snapper.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When was the last time you went in? Would you still go on board riders if you're home? And
Probably.
And it's pumping and they...
Yeah, if it was pumping, I would.
Because you got the rights to the lineup and you can do
I
whatever
think
you want out there.
those comps
think
have
the-
like the right attitude.
Yeah. Well, I think the last one I went in, I got beat by like a 12-year-old girl, maybe. I'm pretty sure. Didn't even make my heat.
Yeah, that's why Noah doesn't compete anymore.
Yeah, 'cause
He got
I think
destroyed by a 12-year-old.
Maybe John's gone over to talk to her and get a few pointers before the heat.
The art of war has begun.
I think I don't do them because I just suck at them. That's why.
Yeah.
There's nothing like behind it really. I'm just not good at it.
So you got the part that you're working on right now. Wow, massive whale out there splashing. What big picture next 5 years? What do you want to do? Qualify for the Australian Olympic surfing team?
Nah.
Film a skate part.
Yeah,
the local
kinda.
park.
That would be pretty funny.
Yeah.
I'd love to do that.
Go surf Kelly's pool? Does that interest you?
Yeah, that would be cool. I think if it gets a little bit bigger.
What about?
I heard it can. It can get bigger, but it can't.
That
it
just
gets
trips
too
me out
washy.
that they say that like it can get bigger. So like,
Make
do
it
it.
bigger.
Yeah.
What about if we
It
sort
looks
of
really cool though, but
innovate with it? If the wave is so mechanical, what's to stop you like putting in rails and sliders and stuff
Yeah, that'd be
down
sick.
down the course of the wave?
Okay, now we're talking, guys. I don't have to be so anti. Some rails.
I think rails would be
Someday.
super sick.
And like, can
well,
you?
this one.
Walshy again.
Wind got him.
Got him.
Yeah, I think rails would be sick.
I mean, could you acid drop in off the train?
Oh, there you go. Like a little slingshot into the...
Yeah, you could do
So
that.
you're putting
probably.
lines together.
Yeah, if you acid dropped in and then had some rails and stuff to hit. I'm sure there'd be some good stacks too. People just getting owned.
Have you ever bid board slid or grinded anything on your surfboard?
Nah.
No,
Just
like
Chris
a-
Cote is the only one on the premises who's done that. He has done that.
Yeah, the pole jam.
Yeah,
he
yeah.
did, that was sick. That looked really sketchy.
I know you get kind of hyped on skateboarding. What whose parts the last few weeks or months have you been hyped on? I know you watch a lot of skating.
Yeah, I watched a couple the other night. I watched a Spitfire one.
Oh yeah.
Can't remember.
That was Chris was talking about that one the other day.
What was it called? That one?
I don't know. It's on our site, but I haven't been
Yeah, it was
monitoring
sick.
my own site.
iShot and Grant.
Oh, iShot.
Grant
Yeah.
Taylor was ripping in it. And that rainy dude. Something. He's sick. But yeah, and then I watched one of Corey Duffel's old parts as well.
Oh yeah, we've been working on a part with Corey that he's gonna go on a good one. Oh, his
Yeah.
new part is insane.
Yeah, I haven't fully seen it yet. I've
No.
seen the previews kind of. And then I went back and watched those Busto Bales on Thrasher. Those
Yeah.
are sick. The
Yeah.
like triple set and like.
Yeah, that'd be like, I don't know how you can do it in surfing, but you basically either land it or you go home, and that's the concept. It's
And I
like-
guess it could be like that out here.
Yeah.
Like just whoever gets the biggest barrel tries a huge air or something.
Yeah.
It's kind of the same thing.
Who is your favorite skater?
Still Brian Herman.
Brian Herman.
Yeah, so sick.
Who's your favourite surfer? Growing up, who was your hero?
Like back when I was really young, Kelly, and then Dane and kind of Bruce and stuff.
Yeah.
Andy.
It's a pretty good evolution. That's like
Yeah.
pretty classic.
When I was real young, I used to love Kelly. And
Yeah.
stuff.
It's not
And
bad. You're
still
on the
crazy,
on the
so.
Globe team these days. You done much with like Taj and Dion and those guys?
Yeah. We did a trip to Foster last year that was sick. Loved
Yeah,
doing
Joe's-
trips with Terry.
Joe's chipping away at something, I think.
Yeah.
What's
go.
Joe G got coming? We've seen the first episode, the Australia part.
Yeah, I think we're gonna start
There's more
doing some more
episodes.
trips for sure in the kind of after June maybe this year, something like that.
So Joe G is now doing online stuff. Is that the death of the surf movie as a DVD that you go out and buy?
Yeah,
Maybe.
I kind of cry myself to sleep a lot thinking about that, but I think there's some cool stuff you can do with short form, but I don't know
Yeah.
what you think, but
I think it's better to have it in the flesh as well as online.
Yeah.
Just like the magazines, it's cool to have the
Do you think that,
magazines.
like, what youth is working on a kind of a full length, we're hoping, you know,
Yeah.
and, like, package it with a year and just gather clips from guys that, you know, you
I
don't
think
get
you
to
just
see that often.
make
You
the
just do it.
copies for a couple of people who want them, you know.
Yeah.
And then everyone
Everybody else
else
is
can
gonna-
just go online and do their thing.
Yeah, the poor DVD guys in Bali, they're the new Blockbuster video stores. The writing's on the wall for
Yeah,
them.
fully. Unless they start putting all those movies on USBs.
That was a speedy one. Oh
Which
my God.
they will. Is there-
Wow.
Finn just got
Oh.
a.
Insane.
Wow. You don't need the turn, don't worry.
Nah, yeah. Definitely didn't need the turn on that. I
All
think
the
he's
work
going to
done.
get a pretty high score for that one.
All right, do you want to put on your best Joe Tepel and talk us through this one, Noah?
Yeah. Super deep on this one. Threading it. Out of that thing. He's going to get a 9 on that, I think.
Yeah.
That
That's
was
not
pretty
unlike
sick.
the one you got, where you get a couple sections instead of just that big chunk at the beginning.
Yeah.
It goes all the way across, almost off the wall.
Let's see how my judging skills are.
What are you giving it? Giving it a 9?
9.
Perfect
Oh.
10.
He's getting
Uh-oh.
wheels,
Whoa,
apparently.
okay. Noah's a tough taskmaster. Finn McGill, I think he just won himself a set of rims.
He did get
Wow.
himself a set of rims.
That is so sick.
Yeah. We're giving rims away.
I think
for
that's the
tens.
goal of this whole comp, is to win those rims.
Yeah. Well, Finn's taking him home.
That's sick.
He was like our second guest on this show yesterday too. We're gonna have to get him back in here to check out the rims.
Does he even own a car?
That's a good question.
I think
it
Sean,
didn't sound like it.
Sean White had won something like 6 cars before he ever got his driver's license.
No way.
Yeah.
Dude, he's going to be stoked on those rims.
well.
I know Mitch Colborne and I have been talking about the rims like all week.
You don't care if you beat John, you just want to win a set of rims.
Yeah, I put him on the Commodore.
That was pretty
Whoa,
deep, wasn't it?
That was sick.
Yeah, that angle.
I guess that angle kind of puts it more in perspective, doesn't it?
Epic. All right, well, Noah Deane, it's
All
been
right.
a pleasure having you.
Thanks for
on
having me.
All right,
the
can someone
other
get
guys.
Noah a drink?
Yeah,
we
we
never
need-
got Noah a drink. He
we
needs
need
a
to
drink
get-
on his way out.
I got a water bottle.
Okay.
Even when he's commentating, he brings up perfect 10. So we're expecting big things when you
Yeah.
hit the water.
Don't forget
in,
Mason, Noah,
day or
and
two's time.
John.
Yeah,
John
hopefully.
Florence
Vote
is
for
already
it.
posting Art of War quotes on his Instagram.
Yeah.
The mind games have begun.
All right, shout out to Mitch. Shout out to Mikey. Yeah, boys. Yeah, mate.
All right, we got a package of Kai Lenny highlights. So we're going from the Wild Child to the Crazy Freak Show from Maui. Check him out, and then we're going to have a chat with the man himself, Kai Lenny, coming up right after this.
Imagine that, my man. There must be something in the air because I'm sick again. I'm gonna flood the well. I got a rebel yell. Wait, none.
Hello and welcome back to the other guys, Volcom Pipe Pros alternate commentary stream, Pirate Radio here, coming to you from a backyard a little bit away from the Jerry House. My name's Chris Binns, I'm from Red Bull Surfing. Travis Ferre from What Youth is right next to me, and next to Travis, world champion about 28 different disciplines, Kai Lenny. Welcome to the other guys.
Thank you, guys.
Mate, I was doing my research last night. You've won a kiteboarding world title?
Second in the world at one point. I was like 0.8 away from winning. It still hurts today, but maybe one day I'll be able to snatch that one.
So, hang on. We have a, this is a tsunami alert.
It's just the warning.
This one is a drill,
We don't need to run. I don't need to run.
The first work day of the new month, they always do it. You just hate it if there was a tsunami.
Oh, I know, right?
You know, and it actually came in.
So I can just enjoy the drink. I didn't need to freak out too much here.
I mean,
this is intense.
You've probably been here when there's been actual ones, like little ones.
Yeah,
I was here one year it happened.
Couple times at home on Maui. This was like when I was younger. My parents left, and it was just my brother and I, who's younger. And I was like 16, so I was, still pretty young. And literally the day they left and went to the East Coast, one came in, or like it started going. It was the Japan one, and you just see Japan getting destroyed. I'm like, oh my god! And we live across the street from the beach on Maui. And so I had to take all the valuables in the house, and then we went up country, and you're just thinking your whole home and where we grew up was going to be just decimated, and luckily nothing happened. But I mean, you just accept the fact if you live near or on the water, I guess, hey, you know what? It's worth being that close to the water.
Wouldn't they say the safest place to be is at sea, right?
Oh, yeah.
So if I'm Mr. and Mrs. Lenny, aren't I putting everything in a dry bag and just telling you to sup for the
Get
horizon?
all your gear, all your boards.
The problem with Maui is like here it kind of gets deep quick. The outer reefs are far out, but you can still get to deep water. On Maui, it's like really gradual for a very long time. So you can imagine like a mile out, that whole thing probably would suck dry, and you just hope you can get a mile quick enough. But yeah, safest out at sea for sure.
Were you in Hawaii or on Oahu?
Did you get the text?
With the fake, the drill missile alert thing a couple of weeks ago?
It was so random, like so inconvenient. We're getting ready for Jaws, and it's going to be gigantic, whatever. It's biggest swell of the year, biggest swell in a couple years. And everyone got the text but me. It was like,
no.
I guess they probably assumed I was going out anyway.
Well, they thought you sent it.
They're like,
are you pranking us,
You don't
Kai?
need to warn Kai. He's already out the back.
I kind of was just hoping, not hoping. You don't ever want one of those things. But if it was coming, it was just going to miss, like, Oahu and all the islands and land just outside of Jaws. So there'd be just a little more push and maybe a little bigger wave.
Tide push.
Little surge with the wave. If you timed it, you'd be on a 120-foot Jaws barrel.
Jeez. Your mind thinks so different than mine. I was ready to go bunker down, hide. I'm
There's
running.
just nowhere to
below.
hide. You're like, you got 15 minutes to hide. You're like, great. Where should I go? Like, dig a hole in the sand?
Yeah, that's it. They're like, well, do you want to be together or should we be alone? There's a missile coming at us.
Just Instagram live that.
Yeah.
All right, I blew it with the kiteboarding because you've come second. You've never won a world title. Stand-up paddleboarding, you've won a world title.
Yeah, 8 world titles in stand-up.
8.
So you made up for that 1 second place.
Yeah,
We
right.
got a couple more.
Yeah, and
is that in racing or wave riding?
Both. It's a combination. I've won 4 or 5 in wave and 3 in race.
And you've done the Molokai a bunch of times?
Yeah, and I've won the Molokai race, and just trying to stay busy. It's been funny because I was born and raised surfing here in Hawaii, and surfing was the first thing I did. So everything that I've done up to now has always been around riding waves, and it's definitely taken different directions with the different sports that I do competitively. But it's cool because I feel like I just have a lot of time to maybe pick them all up. Like now I'm getting a lot more into surfing and shortboard events, and a couple years ago, it was about getting into more big wave events. So.
Well, you're winning the Big Wave World Tour rankings as well. Is that, what's your one dream goal in life? If you could, your Wikipedia page says you're a celebrity water sports enthusiast, which I think is awesome. But if you could have one thing underneath your name, what would it be?
I don't know. It really, if anything, it's just a nice person, a good guy, because I don't really define myself how awesome I am in the water in a way, It's just what I really love to do. And, you could be the best in the world out there, but if you're lame on land, then what's the point? You know what I mean? So I try to just stay as, mellow and normal as I can on land. And my focuses in the water aren't about, proving anything to anyone else, but it's kind of more personal goals.
Yep.
So, yeah, that's just kind of always been my perspective, and I've been taught that from my parents. Have been really awesome, keeping me in line, and I've had good mentors growing up. I think coming from Maui, it's really unique because it's kind of a water sports mecca.
Yeah.
And you kind of, well, at least in my environment, I learned to pick up all these different sports and get into the wind sports, get into the big waves, and Jaws is in my backyard, and it's like having Mount Everest back there and not actually going and climbing it. So at one point you want to go do that, and then you get a little taste of it, and it draws you in more. So, I mean, to get back to the question, what would I want under my name? people can say whatever they want.
Big
I
wave
think you're the
world
world's
title
greatest
would be
free
nice
surfer.
though.
I mean, for sure. You know, like I want to be big wave world champion more than anything. That's my goal. That was my goal this year, and we've only ran 2 events, and there's 2 more left. Big wave surfing's interesting because you can't run it at you know, every week. You know, it's like even pipe is really hard to get in the 10-day waiting period for this contest. But at the same time, you know, big waves, it could be months, even years before you surf a particular wave at its best. And
so I got a good hypothetical for you here. There's 1st of February today. The window closes on the 28th of February. Would you be happy if neither Nazare or Mavericks won and you're a world champ, or do you want to sort of have a crack at both of those events this year as well?
when I kind of envision how I see things playing out, I want to do every single event and then at the end of one of those events come in from the water and be world champion and then hold that thing over my head, you know, like it's just from watching all the world tour, you know, like John win over here and all that sort of thing. I think the only way that I would really want to win is that way, but
Kai wants a big wave party.
But
wants a big wave. Come on.
If none of those events happen, I'll take it. Yeah. You know, like I'm not shying away from that world title if nothing happens. And whatever happens, happens. I'm training as hard as I can right now. I'm preparing myself to take on whatever Nazare and Mavericks have. But again, you know, this is actually a difficult time in the season for those waves. Mavericks can get really good, but between Mavericks and Nazare, they can get a lot of local wins. Nazare this time, the storms are getting really close. And the problem with there is there's plenty of swell. It's just getting like those waves with like not 20 knots of wind on them.
Yeah. And if only one of them runs, would you prefer Jaws? You got Mavericks. Have you got more experience at Mavericks than Nazare?
Yeah, you know, I would prefer Mavericks because it's such a perfect big wave paddle and wave. It's so isolated. It's the most isolated takeoff in big wave surfing. It's like 10 feet where you could take off onto a massive ride, and I'm really about performance on big waves, you know. I think it's great. You can go out and ride the biggest wave of your life and do all that. But my kind of focus in big wave surfing has always been I want to be as high performance. So maybe not necessarily catch the biggest wave I've ever ridden, but catch really big waves and hopefully ride them like a 6-foot wave.
You did it the best air that will, I hope, be done at Jaws. I mean, that thing was so legit. Noah Deane's probably like tripping on that thing. Like
tweaked out stuff.
Yeah, everything textbook. And
no, thank you.
That was sick. I've never seen anything like that.
I really think the future, like, because, you know, it's gone from, in big wave surfing, you know, towing was kind of put to the side before Nazare. Kind of there was that era where it's like, oh, if you tow, that's super lame, unless you're like a slab in West Oz or now Nazare, when it's really big, you can't paddle there because it's ocean beach on steroids, just shifty, and you can't actually be in the right spot. I see the benefits of both paddle and tow, and towing being sort of like if you were to go to Alaska and go heli skiing, and you're Travis Rice and you're doing double corks down the mountain. Like, that's what I think the vision for towing should be, like high performance tricks, barrels, like ride it like it's a 2-foot wave, and then paddling is about, you know, that gnarly takeoff as late as you can, deep as you can, go for the barrel, and like kind of just the balls to the wall situation.
Just knifing underneath.
But kind of make it like that. So that's kind of my idea with towing surfing. When I do that, it's like really high performance focused.
It's amazing watching the big wave events now. Like, you have to get barreled basically to win. You got the one to claim it in Porto, which was sick. What about, where were you sitting when Ian got his wave at Jaws to win that event?
Well,
that was in the semis.
Yeah, it was in the semis, and the heat was just a dream heat. It was perfect Jaws. It was like, for those kind of barrels, it was a good size where it wasn't like too big, so you weren't super hesitant about certain waves, because out there, you know, like the wave can change a lot by the time you paddle in, step onto your feet and go, and each wave looked so good. And I got a really good barrel, and I was like, sweet, I'm gonna kill this heat, you know. I got like a 9 or something, 9.7, whatever, and I kick out and I'm paddling back out, and Ryan Hipwood got a crazy one. He got a 10. I'm like, dang it. And then as I'm paddling up this wave, I just see Ian Walsh get the chip shot. Like, just the perfect situation you want, where it hits the North Peak, it stacks up, it just lets you roll in, and then the West Bowl continues over. And it was just so buttery that day, light east wind, so it was just kind of feathering the lip. And before he even dropped in completely, I was like, oh, God, he's going to get the ride of the year. It just looked ride of the year written all over it. and it couldn't have happened to a better guy. You know, Ian's a good friend of mine, and of course you're in a heat and you want to try. Like, I'm going for a world title and I want to make the final, and luckily I did. I mean, I had Albie Lair in that heat, Ian Walsh, Ryan Hipwood, like the three kind of gnarliest guys you could draw for barrels, and somehow I squeaked in there and made it to into the next heat. So that was gnarly.
Yeah, that Maui contingent is crazy.
Yeah, run us through what's going on in Maui. I mean,
what were you guys like as kids? Like, I like wonder why you woke up and like, you know, you're so good at so many disciplines and like how you read the ocean, and like, how did you decide what to write? I mean, I just watched you surf backdoor like as good as anyone, you know, in a heat, you know, with all the locals at backdoor.
Yeah.
And then you do all the things that you do. I'm curious on your upbringing and how you like get, I don't know, like anything the ocean throws at you, you've got the riddle solved.
Including ballistic missiles, apparently.
Yeah. You're ready for it.
Well, you know, it's funny because I think for me personally, when I was growing up on Maui, I was really exposed to people like Laird Hamilton and Dave Kalama and these alternative sports champions like Robbie Nash, like wind sports guys. So like my parents originally moved to Hawaii, to Maui to surf and windsurf, and so did a lot of the top pro surfers. Their parents moved to Maui to windsurf or surf. And on Maui, you know, the surf isn't great all the time. It can get really good. Like, I think we have the best waves when the waves are the biggest in the world. You know, like for quality, there's so many other waves besides Jaws, Pe'ahi. But I just kind of was always interested in trying to do everything and have fun. I never wanted to feel like I left any stone unturned since I was a little kid. And I had all this opportunity to pick it up. And I'd rather be in the water more than I would be on land. So I kind of picked it all up, and I enjoyed every facet of it. And to me, it was just different approaches to riding waves. Like, waves are my favorite. And at the end of the day, getting a really big barrel out of Jaws is probably my single favorite thing to do. But it's not always like that. Yeah. And
what do you like on land? You're obviously so. Do you just like
Please tell
classical
me you trip
music
over your
and
feet.
Yeah, no, I don't know. I'm pretty.
What do you like? What do you like to do? I mean, like.
I'm really just into thinking about what I'm gonna do when I get back in the water. Yeah. So working on equipment, I have so much equipment to actually work on. So like, it's been fun getting even just my shortboard quiver for backdoor and pipe kind of together, because it's something that, you know, I need a lot of work on. You know, both my performance and my equipment. You know, it can go a long way. But when I'm on land, I love making movies. I really love the creative aspect, and I just want to be immersed as much as I can into the sports that I do. And I'm always kind of looking for that adrenaline high. I consider all those like the big waves and anything that kind of gets my heart pumping to be sort of like my drug of choice.
So even on land, you're like intense.
I mean, I don't know. You gotta
hang out with me. You don't ever calm down. No, I don't know if I want to hang out. That sounds horrifying.
I just have a lot of energy, and I get pretty psyched to just do anything. You know, like let's just go out and figure something out. You know, and that's kind of where that hydrofoil came into play. Is like, I would be pulling my hair out trying to figure out what I could do in the water that's high performance. You know, like everything's about being high performance in the water, since that's sort of my job. And, you know, just going and cruising when the waves are really crummy, it's like fun, but I'm like, gosh, how can I like somehow improve every time I go in the water? And the foil kind of cured that gray area of when you can't really do anything, you know, and the surf's crummy and there's nobody out, you know, you're like, go to a wave by yourself and you can actually draw some lines. So that's sort of where that kind of came up in my whole, you know, kind of things that I do.
Arsenal of ocean.
Things.
Yeah, we've talked about foiling a lot with the guys we've had on so far, and everyone who's done it is like, it is the best.
It's fun.
Like on a 1 foot wave, you can feel like you're flying down a 20-foot face type deal.
Yeah, you know what's really awesome about it, which is why I think everyone's enjoying it, is it just keeps you on the water having fun, and it kind of gets you back to the root of when you started surfing. When you started surfing, it didn't have to be a perfect backdoor or pipe wave, you know, like the level's gone so high in surfing that, you know, just to go out and cruise on a crummy little wave, it's like, yeah, it's good, you get in the water, but you're not like coming in like jumping out of your skin, right? And with the foil, you know, you can go surf the absolute worst wave with just your friends, go to a spot where nobody ever goes, and know for a fact that you're going to score. And, you know, if you're a big wave surfer, or if you enjoy kind of like pushing yourself in big waves, you can take off on like a 2 foot wave and feel like it's 20 feet. I mean, I remember foiling with Albie Lair and Ryan Hipwood and a few others just at this little whitewater spot the day before a jaw swell. And we were all tripping because we're taking off. We're like pulling back on like 2-foot waves. Like, oh, God, that's too scary. And they're like, great, we have to go surf 20, 25-foot jaws tomorrow. Like, how are we going to do that? You know, because it kind of messes with your mind. It makes a tiny wave feel big, which is fun.
So what does it
Maybe
make
I need to get into this.
What does it
then.
make a big wave feel like?
Just really intense. Like, you're going really fast. You're like...
And are you towing to get into them
Yeah.
on your foot?
Yeah, like big waves, typically you would just tow in. And the cool thing about that is you can catch waves so far out at sea and just ride the swell. And, you know, I'm still figuring out the equipment, so it feels like an extension of surfing, you know? Right now it feels like snowboarding and chesty powder, which is a great feeling.
Yeah, it's not bad.
But also, you know, trying to get the stability in it. It's early days for foils, development-wise. So it's going to be exciting. Like in the big wave realm, I think you'll be able to ride really big waves at spots like, you know, Nazare, Belhara. You know, Jaws is a very barreling spot, and it's maybe not that conducive to foiling. But the cool thing about foiling is you can go way faster than on any other board. So the possibilities of backdooring Jaws literally from the left and having the wave break 20 feet in front of you and bottom turn around a, you know, 20-foot lip landing in front of you, like. There's a lot of like openings and potential for it. And when you fall, it's literally like crashing on a motorcycle. You just catch air and just tomahawk.
Is there any like hope for mainstream foiling? Like I know there's like a couple things happening that are.
Has James Bond foiled yet?
Who?
James Bond.
I think his next movie he should do it though. It'd be insane.
Well, I mean, obviously you guys, you're backdooring Jaws, but I'm just curious, like how.
I think if you're, it's not one foiling is like one. At least right now, it's not one of those things where if you don't surf, you wouldn't go and just foil necessarily. Yeah. I think there's a time and place for all the board sports, and with foiling, it's like when the waves are crummy, or you know, you can go surf that spot that no one ever goes to. You know, just that little whitewater. That's like the best conditions. And I always tell people, you know, it's like not meant for a crowded lineup. If you see a crowd lineup, the whole point of the foil is to avoid being in a crowd. You spend so much time in a crowd anywhere you go surfing nowadays that you're trying to avoid that and, you know, have your fun somewhere else. So I think the potential for it mainstream-wise will be behind wakeboard boats, just kind of wake surfing, or, you know, for people like in Europe or East Coast or even California, any place that doesn't get great surf all the time, it's going to be a great tool to kind of get that high performance feeling that you wouldn't normally get on just a longboard. But I always just tell people, it's like, you know, just avoid people. Unless it's your friends who are surfing with you or other foilers, you know, just make space, because there's so many crummy waves out there that are perfect for it. You don't have to go to lower trestles and go through the lineup.
I think Parko's the local snapper.
Well, Parko can do whatever he wants, so.
He goes down to Kira, sort of rides those swell lines.
Oh, yeah.
You're talking about trying to fine-tune the foil for big waves and whatnot. I imagine, and this is all hypothetical because I have no clue what I'm talking about, but if you're sitting in the lineup at Jaws, you can see when a decent set is coming. If you're out in the shipping lanes, how do you know what a swell line looks like before it's really formed to know that you're onto a decent sized wave?
Definitely my experience being at Jaws since I was, and surfing it since I was 16 years old really goes a long way, because I know what a swell looks like out there. And when the waves are that big, you can see them kind of like feeling the bottom of Maui and kind of like, in a way, wiggling their way into that cove where Jaws breaks. And it's a pretty gradual ledge out at Jaws, so when the swells come up, they jack up. You know, they'll jack up and they're moving like 35 miles an hour. You see them from way out to sea, and that's what kind of makes it easy. But it also takes, you know, knowing what is what when you're out there. And it's just literally my experience from just paddling out there and being right where the wave actually starts helps a lot for figuring out what it's going to be like when I'm way out there.
And then Nazare is probably a bit more extreme with that canyon. Like you can, if you're standing on the cliff, I don't know if you've been there, Travis, you can just see these swell lines.
Reasons why.
It's so gnarly.
Miles out to sea, all kind of forming into one. There's the big channel that just guides them right into that little corner.
Yeah, Nazare is the weirdest thing. I remember when I first checked it before the contest, and I was just watching it, and it was like big and stormy, and you wouldn't go out and paddle it, or even tow was kind of crummy. And you just watch these swells, like they're going like away from the break, hits that like 10,000 foot deep canyon and just hooks and comes the opposite way. And I think the only way to ride those sort of swells on the foil is to either have a really good driver who knows what he's looking for, or for yourself. And it's all experience. Like, I think the reason why big wave surfers that are like the best guys in big wave surfing are actually older. Like, you know, Shane Dorian, I would still, you know, if you ask anybody paddling, he's still considered the best guy, and he's 46 years old. Ian Walsh is, you know, he's no spring chicken now. He's still gnarly though. He's like in his 30s, and I think the older you get, the more experience you get in big waves, and that's why these guys, you know, are such good surfers in small waves that it translates to big waves.
Yeah,
and then, and you know, there's definitely a lot of young bucks that are really good in big waves, but it's that experience and time out there that really separates kind of the men from the boys. And I'm trying to fast track myself. Like, how can I learn what they're doing now? And it helps having them as examples and seeing them when they come to your local spot or you go visit somewhere. Just excited to surf for, you know, big waves for 30 more years, you know, with those guys there.
Can you even enjoy like a classic point break?
Love it. I mean, I love small waves.
I
I
was just curious,
love tiny waves.
You come in, you're like, dang it, I wish it was like 100 foot bigger.
Sometimes.
2 foot waves like this.
Yeah, this is like 2 to 3 foot Hawaiian. No, I'm
That's
kidding.
what
It's like 6 foot.
Taimana was saying. He's like, that's like 2-3 foot.
You touched on it before, and it's probably the one area we haven't really seen you yet, is towing the slabs in Australia.
Yeah.
Is that something you want to do? Get down to the right, Shipstone, Bluff. Are we going to see you compete at Cape Fear one day?
Yeah, I mean, I would love to compete at Cape Fear. That way it looks so gnarly. You know, the slabs look just so tapped, and I think if you go down there, you got to be just committed to beyond committed, because in big waves, and especially at like the right or even Shipsterns, it all is good, and then it can go horribly wrong real quick. But I'm looking at Shipsterns, man. You could do the biggest air ever out there. You know, like if you set up right, you could do like a 30-foot double cork and like land on one of the steps, and then do like a 180 down it after you get barreled.
It's definitely the world's biggest wedge.
The biggest wedge, dude.
Mark's done a transfer over the step before.
So gnarly.
Didn't pull it, and he was doing it on a soft top as well.
A soft top would be, I don't know, it's not my board of choice when it's slabbing like that.
Yeah. Well, so you just wrapped up a movie. Maybe these are things for the next movie. Tell us about your new movie.
Oh, well, we worked on this movie for a couple years filming. It's called Paradigm Lost, which is essentially, you know, breaking the model, the traditional model. And I've always thought of, you know, kind of my approach has definitely been anything but traditional. But it's been exciting because I've had all these opportunities. Anything I've sort of set my mind to, I've, you know, been able to kind of go after. And it's kind of captured a little bit of, you know, what it's taken to get there and certain achievements that I have done. And the whole thing is just about having fun, and it's not really about the equipment you ride, but how you ride it. And, you know, it's about riding waves.
So. It was really cool to watch the movie and see guys who maybe we don't sort of associate with you, like Albie Layer and Dusty and Jamie O will pop up. These guys are all your mates as well?
Yeah, no, it's pretty cool because, you know, like, I'm a little younger than a lot of those guys, and growing up, wasn't necessarily hanging out with them a ton, but it's just those guys are really cool, and they're all into doing alternative things as well, and which is sometimes you don't imagine that because they're really core to what they do. It's like high performance aerials, surfing, big barrels, but they're all pretty open-minded people, and they're super fun to hang out with. So they enjoy hanging out with me, I enjoy hanging out with them, and you know, it's pretty cool to kind of have like such a cool, like good group of guys from Maui, and then know guys from the North Shore from spending time here. And to be honest, I never imagined myself where I am right now. You know, like, oh, I'm gonna compete in the Volcom Pipe Pro. It's sort of one of those things when I was first kind of getting into competition. It was like on the windsurfing and stand-up paddling side. I'm like, God, that would be cool, maybe another life. But sort of discovered, you know, just with hanging out with these guys and surfing with really good people, it's you know, there are ways to go after it if you work hard.
Would you ever commit to a year on the QS to see if you could make the CT?
I think if I ever got my surfing to where it should be, I would totally go full bore, you know? Like, why not?
I like where you're at. The QS might bore you.
Yeah, I don't know. It's like, I think if I'm hitting up some big wave spots in between here, and I would probably be the guy that traveled with, like, 10 board bags because I'll bring everything with me.
Yeah, your whole garage
like,
traveling behind you.
It's like this, like on the lay day, you know? Like, drives me nuts when the conditions are good for something, and you're not doing anything and you don't have any equipment to do like what the conditions offer, it's just like, God, I'm blowing it so hard right now.
Well, that's a perfect. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say, what about one day you and Albie are like travel buddies going off to Cape Fear together? It'd be like QS travel partners on steroids.
That'd be insane. No, I've done a strike mission with Albie and another kid from Maui, Tyler Laurent, and Billy Kemper, and we went to Mavericks, and it was pretty cool because like here the Maui crew was showing up, and I'm like, wow, I'm kind of a part of the Maui crew right now, you know? Like, always thought of myself as maybe a little bit outside of that bubble just because of what other stuff I did, but it's cool showing up with those guys and like makes you want to charge harder.
Speaking of Maui, token question, give us a Laird story.
I remember, you know, like, you always hear crazy stories about Laird. I mean, I grew up knowing him because he was actually my neighbor growing up, like, down the street. And I think one that my dad's kind of reminded me of is my brother and I were like, oh, Laird lives down the street. And we kept on going over there and knocking on the door, not knowing what was going to happen when he answered it.
Like, something you do as a kid.
Like,
hey, is he home?
Yeah, like, eventually knocked and just Laird opens it up, you know, like... And Laird's like that big, and we're like little kids, and we're just frozen. Like, what do we do? You know, it's like, just I don't know. Laird had like this this mysteriousness around him too, because he's just like almost like a little godly feeling. Like, especially when you're a little kid, he's such a big superhuman. But I remember one time pulling up to the cliff at Jaws, like as a little kid, just to watch, because we'd watch it all the time, and he was out there by himself. It was like 20-foot Hawaiian. And it was kind of like at the evening. He had just board shorts on a 14-foot stand-up board, and he paddled from the next bay where he lived, and he took off in this wave, and he pulled into this barrel and got spat out. Nobody around. It was just us on the cliff. No one got shots or anything. And I remember just being so baffled. This was like before paddling out there. It was like right when he started stand-up paddling. I was just like, wow, that's next level.
What did I just witness?
Yeah. So
this guy continues to...
Laird's pretty gnarly, for sure.
A little bit.
All right, we got a game we like to play here on The Other Guys. It's good or bad for surfing.
Sweet.
And given that Laird was in the legendary movie North Shore, our first question is going to be, are Hollywood surf films good or bad for surfing?
I mean, they haven't been good. They've been bad, but I still think they could be good.
Did you like North Shore growing up?
I love North Shore because it was just so bad. Like, it was just the best. I think it's the best, you know, Hollywood surf movie because it's just like, it's like plays on all the kind of the funny things that actually don't exist in surfing.
Yeah, it's like every cliche is in there, but then at the same time, sometimes you'll see something like, just like North Shore.
I mean, I think it kind of really, you know, for Laird didn't help being in that movie because everyone's just like associates with him with that character, and maybe he is that character, but I don't know.
Yeah, Laird is, he's larger than life, you know. Yeah. Lance Burkhart.
He sure is. Next one, this will be a topic you're very knowledgeable about. Are inflatable vests good or bad for surfing?
I think they're great. I think for myself and a few others, guys that really love big wave surfing for the passion of it, there's been amazing big wave surfers that have passed away in the, like, you know, Todd Chester here on the North Shore, Sion Milowski, you know, there's been a lot of guys that have died without using a vest, and the vest just allows you to go out and focus on performance and not worrying about, you know, not making it back to the beach. And there are for sure people that shouldn't be using them in certain conditions. It gives them maybe like that extra little help mentally to go out in craziness. I don't trust it at all.
Have you ever pulled your cook?
Oh yeah, all the time. If you're in a big wave at Jaws, like if you don't pull it, there's a good chance you're gonna get a two-wave hold down or you're gonna like drown. Like it's, I don't think you would want to go out there paddling without one. You could get away with it a little bit, but eventually I think you'd get caught. It would catch up to you.
What's it like to a layman? We have no clue. Like if you pull it, do you then turn into a beach ball on the surface and you get hit by the next waves and you sort of go pinballing through the rocks? Or?
Well, what happens is if you like, I've had it fail on me, like the earlier prototypes where I had no flotation, and I've broken my leash, broken my board, and so I have nothing. And out at Jaws, I had pretty much a two-wave hold down, and I was on the bottom for 7 seconds, and there was so much weight of water over me, I couldn't like push through it. And the nice thing about the vest is literally you pull it, you feel it just get, you know, not even that much bigger because you're in a, like, an atmospheric environment where, you know, the CO2 can't fully inflate the vest, but it helps so much. I mean, you can relax and you can just like, you know, focus and not be like using up all your oxygen trying to climb. I mean, if you went to New York City and you took the elevator versus running the stairs to the top of one of the skyscrapers, I mean, it's the same thing. You can do both, but you would, most times, if you're trying to surf for 12 hours, you'd prefer taking the elevator.
And do you come flying out of the surface? Or?
I mean, at times sometimes it's the best and worst feeling ever. You're like, I'm alive, and you just pop out of the foam,
Just
and then
birthing
there's a 60-foot faced wave right on top of you, and you're just like, oh. And you're like, the only thing you can do in the early days, you couldn't deflate it. Now you can deflate it if you have to and swim under a wave.
Oh, you can deflate it. Okay.
You can.
I was always worried that you guys would just have to like float.
In the beginning, the earlier days, you would just be like this, and all you could do is be an ostrich and just kind of stick your head in the water, and it just boom. But
and then you're Jamie O'Brien in his hamster wheel going over the falls again.
In big waves, whether you're 15 feet underwater or the surface, it seriously hurts the exact same because that whitewater ball goes so deep underwater. So, I mean, you'd rather be on the surface, get hit with that thing inflated, and hopefully stay high on the surface so you can either get a breath or come up sooner. I mean, I've seen even guys with pulling their vest still get two-way pull downs. But then I've seen other guys fall, like one time I watched Shane Dorian pull into this massive barrel and he didn't make it out. And I was like, counted how long he was going to take to get him up. And I'm thinking, all right, anywhere from, this wave, 30 seconds to a minute. He came up in 6 seconds with his vest. I think it was a combination of where he fell in the wave, being the master he is, he knew how to sneak out of it, and having a vest. And I was like, that's cool because here he comes back into the lineup, and he's going to wait for another psychotic one. And had he not had that vest, maybe he wasn't going to get that next psychotic one that we're all like, clapping on Instagram about afterwards,
Another double XL award for Dorian.
Yeah,
Right.
Dorian's next level.
All right, next one. Talking about massive, powerful, big barrels. Are wave pools good or bad for surfing?
I think wave pools are awesome. I just, I haven't been in Kelly's yet, but I've tried the one in Texas and tried a couple of the other ones like in Dubai and stuff. But if they could make one that's 15-foot Hawaiian, oh my God. Just give me a pass. I'll go there every day.
So you get an invite to Kelly's pool. Do you just pack your 6.0 by 18.5 and turn up, or what's in your board bag?
I think I would. I feel like if you're riding the wave pool, you're probably going to be riding like not your normal shortboard here because it still looks a little different. Maybe like a really big wake off the back of a boat. When you see a perfect barreling, like that's different than a normal ocean wave. Although it does look like the best. To be honest, I would think I'd bring everything. I hear it. The wind direction there gets good, so you could. I mean, if I ever get invited, this is probably why I haven't been invited yet.
Yeah, Kai's here with there's like a U-Haul out front with all his
U-Haul
boards.
with windsurf, kite, freaking foils. But I would probably just take like a 5'9" shortboard at first, obviously.
Well, Noah's going to bring rails. Kai's going to bring his whole garage, so it could be really circus.
It'll be entertaining.
Yeah.
Probably fly my kite into like the $1 million device that makes the wave.
Yeah.
We might have to have our own pool by the end of this show.
Yeah, I know. Kelly, we have ideas.
All right, the next topic. Good or bad for surfing? Guitars.
I think guitars are great. I mean, like someone who can play guitar well.
Chris is really annoyed by guitars, I think. Is what we've learned over the course of this. He's like,
I just
needs
been
them
on
to end.
too many trips with guys who just can't play them. And there's a reason why Eric Clapton's the best guitarist in the world. Like, he's good. Stop playing. Stop practicing your songs in front of me.
I think... I mean, I think it's cool for anyone to take anything on. For sure, I think there's like, it's something that can occupy your time when you're on a surf trip and it goes flat. And I think it's a lot better than someone just staring at their phone the whole time, And
that's what I said. It's great to get them off their damn phone.
Even if they're not that good at it, you just put your headphones on and listen to like some good guitar, and you're like, oh yeah, you're killing it.
Yeah, you're nailing it.
What do you listen to psych up to before a surf?
I like all sorts of different music, but I definitely, sometimes it'll be like really mellow stuff, like something really mellow because I know how gnarly it is and trying to keep the heart rate kind of low. But like, for example, I scared myself before the Piahi Challenge this year. I was listening to some sort of like, it was like a really aggressive gangster rap song. I can't even remember what it was. It might have been like an ASAP Ferg or something, just anything to like get me like that Brazilian energy, you know,
Yeah.
like just psyched up.
You
and-
overcooked yourself.
No, it was like the situation was I'm sitting on the boat and it's like rocking, and I'm like trying to get my spare cartridges out, like get my fins, and like, you know, I'm the next heat. The heats are an hour long, so you kind of have a lot of time to set up. And I remember this right before the song dropped, I kind of like looked over my shoulder and I just see this 50-foot wave and 4 boards going through it, and the song dropped right as the wave broke, and it was like out of a movie though,
Yeah.
like someone edited to it, and I was just like, and it like scared me a lot, but it also kind of got me amped. I was like on that teetering side over like, okay, I'm gonna get really shaky right now and like not want to go out,
Drive in
or
and-
okay, I'll just take it on the head, you know. So.
Wow, yeah, you definitely run on something me and Chris have no idea
Yeah, no
about,
clue
but
whatsoever.
that's really sick.
Well, that's like real quick, like in big wave surfing, it's so funny. Like even out here though, it's like you can apply it in a big day. It's like normally in competitions, you're like focusing on your performance and you're like, I got to get the best wave. And if you don't do all that, you know, it's like you're not worried about dying. But sometimes in these big wave events, you're literally like, you're fighting, your inner mind is fighting itself, like survival, like self-preservation, and the other one's like competition and winning. And like a spot in like Nazareth, 90% of the time you're gonna get destroyed if you on a wave, because if you take off on a wave, make it successful, you usually kick out and there's another one breaking right in front of you, or you know, whatever, you get caught inside. Like if you don't catch a wave, you're gonna get caught inside. So it's like just being out there, you're guilty, so you're gonna have to get axed at one point. So
Jeez.
you just think to yourself, like, you kind of just gotta. At Puerto, I was just like all self-preservation out. I'm like, if it's a big wave and it's gonna barrel, I'm going, you know. And like obviously look for one you can maybe make, but when Puerto gets big, it's hard to get a wave that you can actually make because they'll stretch out at the end. It looks all good, and then you stand up and you're committed, and it's like
Just running
game
away.
over.
And you
Just
and Jamie both got caught inside by that one big cleanup.
Yeah, God, I wish I was on that wave. That would have just been much easier than waiting till the last 30 seconds.
It's
to
better
catch,
to be
like, a
on him
good
than
barrel.
under him, for sure.
I just remember going, you just pray when you bail, and like, you're like, don't break your leash, don't break your board, because that's just like, and then also don't drown. But that one, I remember I made it underneath, and Jamie was in a much worse spot, and it landed straight on his head, and I'm like, I made it. And I went back, and I just went backwards, head first. Whoa! And luckily there wasn't another one afterwards, so I could kind of collect myself and get out.
So you even thought you made it through, and it still grabbed you.
Oh yeah, because like a big barreling wave, like even out here when you duck dive, you gotta duck dive really deep, because sometimes it'll want to like yank
Yeah.
you back. Chopu is really like that, you know. It's like you almost have to bail the big ones because you're just gonna get sucked over.
Yeah.
Keep swimming towards the bottom.
So 25-foot Porto, how long and how thick is your leash? Do you have like 5 plugs in your board, different
No.
strings?
I just have like the Dakine leash that it's called the Peahi, and it was specifically made for Peahi, and it's just this. You could tow your car up a mountain, you know. It's like this thick, and it's 12 feet
That's
long.
probably the only time I would use it.
Yeah,
And the craziest thing
yeah,
is
so
they
tow my car up.
on a big wave they snap like back, you
Oh,
know, like,
really?
and underwater you'll just feel it stretch, and it's yanking you underwater, and it sounds like gunshots underwater. Like last swell out of Jaws, 5 or 6 guys broke their leash, and it was literally like somebody had a Tommy gun just going back, 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 back. Like that's what it sounds like, because it's so much tension under there, and you're like, how do you even break one of those leashes, you know? Like,
Yeah, for a long time, Porter, the leashes were like no-go, because it was just like, what's the point?
Right.
Your leash is gone.
I mean, if you don't have a leash, you'll preserve your board most likely.
Yeah, well, somebody just didn't preserve themselves there.
No.
I don't
All
know
right.
who that was, but
Kai
they just
Lenny?
jumped from the top.
It's been terrifying, but it's been a real pleasure.
Thank
yeah,
you guys.
it may have
Thanks,
destroyed
mate.
us.
That was
Great to meet you, though.
Good to meet
That
you.
was awesome. Do you want to talk us through this replay we're about to see right now?
I think we just saw Jake Kelly leap from the top.
Oh, Bruce is in the water now.
Yeah, Bruce is out there, but
Kai, thanks for having a chat with us.
that was
Travis, that
I
was...
need a break after that.
I think we do need a little...
He's intense.
We need a breather after that. And, well, Kai...
I've never met anyone like Kai. I've met like some crazy big wave people that I know I don't. Without he's something else. Very impressive though.
All right, so having...
This is Jake Kelly, who we went to dinner with the other night, swimming in after his board now.
Yeah, he seemed like a nice guy. It's pity to lose him. All right, we're going to throw to a quick highlights video, a sessions edit, as we see Jake Kelly off the top rope. That's a decent cannonball. Wow, good penetration. All right, we got a sessions edit coming our way now from redbullsurfing.com. Check this out. We'll be right back with more of the other guys. Welcome back to the other guys. Chris Binns from Red Bull Surfing, Travis Ferre from What Youth, and Kai Guerrero from the WSL, the world being awesome. What else? Tell us about yourself, Kipes.
Just a simple kid from Kapahulu that happens to talk about surfing every once in a while, and I enjoy doing it. It's good. It's good times, Binzy.
It's not
you
bad.
know this.
It's a
yeah,
good
it's not.
day to
It's
be
not
talking
a. It's,
about surfing.
yeah, it's not a bad gig, is it?
It's not bad at all. What's been happening in the water? Because we just had Kai Lenny in for half an hour of
intense
nothing
conversation.
Foil boarding, or what were you guys talking about? Just
we talked about it all.
okay.
Everything.
I'll bring you up to date.
Okay, please do.
We've had our first perfect 10-point ride come through. Finn McGill got an incredible backdoor barrel.
Want a set of rims?
Where's his rims?
Want a set of rims, KMC rims. He spent his money from his World Junior Championship, his $40,000 check. He bought himself a new truck, and now he just earned himself a new set of rims. And you know what else we have going? Is some big waves showing up now.
First, second reef.
Tipping it. Look at this thing.
Kaimana Hikias called this 2 to 3 foot earlier. What's going on with you, Hawaiian
I think it's up to 2 to 4 foot now. He might even admit to that.
It's crazy how it takes so much ocean energy in Hawaii to get above the 6 foot mark. And you know what that is? That is the Pipeline Bakery, because that is a tray of donuts right there.
And you know what else that is? That's Jake Kelly's first wave paddling back out after getting absolutely
He's gonna be-
destroyed on the wave in front.
Oh,
Oh.
no, that was
that's
Jake, and that
Kelly.
was
Lahiki Minimission.
Oh,
So double
Lahiki
donuts.
Or was it
Mission?
Bruce?
I used to interview him for the NSSA when he was about 8 years old.
We got
and he had the best name I'd seen.
Yeah. So there's
carnage
Lahiki
out there.
donuts, and
Jake
then
Kelly following him up.
Yeah, double donuts. Ouch.
So has it been like that all day over there?
No.
What did we miss just the wipeout show?
Yeah, we started at pretty small waves, but the swell has been filling in, and we started with south winds. Now we got like the kind of Kona-ish southwest winds, and pipelines showing its teeth.
And you told us you're from the west side. You're living in town these days?
I'm living in town these days. I'm very metropolitan, yeah.
Where do you
Metropolitan.
where do you surf?
See that's a donut right there.
Isn't it?
Timing.
Where's your local? Where do you surf most these days?
Where I surf the most, I surf at one of my favorite breaks. And first of all, I'm going to tell you, I don't like sand, okay? I love surfing, but I hate sand. So my home break is a place known as Kewalo Basin. That's pure asphalt, dirt, and grass. Not a speck of sand around.
You would
just
love
rocks.
Kelly's wave pool, I'm sure.
I haven't been invited, guys. I think everyone else has kind of
we'll-
been there.
We've got a
but
list of guys we're going to make a call
I
for.
know. It's now everyone's hitting social media with their new
Yeah, the new
Kelly
clip.
wave pool clips today. I've seen it popping up all over.
I see no sand there, though. It could be up for you.
I've just been waiting for the invitation. I don't know if my invite got lost in the mail or something, Slates, but gosh, been friends a long time. Love to go. Just saying.
This heat is I don't know. I'm all locked back into the contest. I haven't been able to see it. You guys must be losing it in the main booth.
It's getting. No, I gets excited, but what's happening right now is that there's going to be on heats, and then there's complete off heats where guys are winning with a 7.2 wave total.
What are we looking forward? What's the next few days look like as we kind of get into the?
It's going to get manly, Travis.
Is it?
It's going to get
So
super.
should I just put the boards in the?
It's going to
backers?
get super masculine out here.
Right up my alley.
So tomorrow we're going to hold on more, same size swell. Probably we'll see this afternoon, and then Saturday is going to get just alpha male.
1,000 feet. There's Jake Kelly staggering up the beach. He just had, a heat that hopefully he can remember. Hopefully there's no concussion protocol involved.
Oh yeah, he should be in it if there's one.
He got clobbered.
Such is the way. Check it out. See, look how big our beach is right now, which is not that typical for this time of the year. Like a normal year, we'd have a much smaller beach here because we'd have probably more west swells, and we would have had all that sand got taken away, and generally that makes for better pipeline.
Fills in the gaps a little bit.
Yeah, but this year we still got this big old beach, but we don't have the backwash, so that's good news.
Kaibo, you just mentioned Finn winning the World Juniors. We were both there.
Yeah.
What's going on with the Hawaiian push? There is, obviously John head of the class, but the age group below him, it's just crazy the amount of talent coming out of Hawaii right now.
Yeah, I think we've always had a ton of talent, but now I think we have talent combined with good coaching and kind of a good support squad.
Yep.
And just the biggest thing, I think, for Hawaiian surfers, it could be same thing with surfers from Bali or surfers from Tahiti, anywhere where you have really an idyllic lifestyle and great waves and warm water, is your travel ability. Are you able to travel and put on a 3-2, a 4-3 surf beach breaks?
Yeah. Can you be a road team? Get out there.
Yeah, that's what it is. It's being able to be a road team. Check this out. That's a
really good backdoor wave.
Almost 4 foot.
Is that Bruce?
No, this is the next heat. All right.
Did we?
That's Eli Olsen, I know that much.
Yeah. He wants to put that wave in an arm lock.
But
arm bar.
It seems like too with John, going on the run that he's on, both free surfing and competitively, that they have someone to kind of they have a beacon right now. Like you said, there's always been the deepest pool of talent in Hawaii. But John's kind of like a modern beacon for them. It seems like Finn, they all reference it.
Yeah.
And you even got Mason too. I think bringing a new enthusiasm as well to kind of the scene. They've got two favorites that are doing unique, different things.
All the kids are seeing John with 4 houses right now. Just rolling and stuff, and sailboats and stuff, and they're like, "Oh my God!"
Yeah.
I can do that too. And the parents are like, "Yeah, dude, go get them.
Yeah.
Work on your air reverses today."
Here's what he did.
Yeah, we need that thing a full pull. You know what I mean? Let's do a
Stomp
full
that.
rotation. Stomp that kid. You know, you're 13. We
Yeah.
take you out of class early.
It's funny, actually. I don't know if you remember, but John, when he was on the NSSA circuit, he came over and he had a few years where I think he was learning to travel. He obviously was famous for a really long time, but he had a few years where on the NSSA he was not getting
wasn't the kid,
results.
was he?
Wasn't the kid. There was probably 6 to 8 kids like a lot higher up than him, and it was like, oh, well, we all love John, and he reps and he charges out here, but it was like, oh, he'll probably just become a homebody.
Yeah, you know, you saw that, right? You had guys like Kai Barger, where everyone's like,
Yeah.
Kai Barger, like he's world junior champ,
Yeah.
he's winning NSSAs, he's gonna be the guy. And there was kind of John like, oh God, he made the quarters.
Yeah.
Cool.
We're not worried, but it was like, oh, he's gonna have a different path. It was like, that's cool, and something clicked in John, and now we have the freak that he is.
I think there was also John was forecast from so far out. Like,
Yeah.
we've all seen him surfing from the age of 5, and you're like, this can't, like, this is the Hollywood story. This can't, everyone wants it to happen, but as if it's going to happen, and then suddenly.
And it happens.
Turbo.
And you know what? He went into turbo charge this year because in his corner he had my friend Ross Williams.
Heard of him. I've heard of him.
The Jontourage.
The Jontourage, yeah. So we're calling Ross Williams now just because he's on the John program, and I think that
took me a minute.
I know it's silly humor sometimes.
But you look at some of those guys. So there's Ross Williams, there's Reynos Hayes. There's even, we saw Jason Chibata winning a heat yesterday. Guys like Mikey Bruno who take an interest in the Groms. That's just a massive,
for sure,
boost for the Hawaiian push, right?
It wasn't too long ago when all you got in a sponsorship was a paycheck and a plane ticket and a phone number to call the guy when you landed.
Yeah.
And hopefully
let him know where you are.
And hopefully he was a good bloke and showed you the right way. Surfing's evolved.
Well, hopefully he answered.
Hopefully he
answered with step 1. And I think Mason Ho has some really funny stories about like getting lost in transit with.
I'm sure Mason can still get lost.
Yeah,
comfortably. What are some of the advantages of having a coach beyond just like, hey, push your cut back harder, less trail?
You know what I think it is, Vinzi? I really think it's more of a comfort level. I think it's more just having someone taking care of everything else around you. So all you have to literally worry about is surfing. The guy's going to cook your breakfast, deal with your transportation, deal with your boards, hoof all your gear down to the beach. Before you go out on your heat, show you some love and some confidence.
Yeah.
I see Reynos does that a lot with the kids. So I think that's the bigger thing is to support the squad, because I don't know if you can actually coach surfing. Maybe you can do some video analysis. But
Wilco is the classic example. Matt Wilkinson, his talent didn't get a million times better between the 5 years where he never finished above 18th on the World Tour to the year after when all of a sudden he won back-to-back events, and he's been like a regular in the yellow jersey ever since. Like, he's just had Micro there saying, mate, that board looks good. Let's use this board.
Right.
Let's calm down. Your heat's
Less
in half an hour.
Less second guessing your stuff because they're like reinforcing.
Yeah.
But for kids though, I think it's great to have someone to teach you how to travel and how to acclimate in a new place, and that's huge.
How to deal with your passport, how to deal with your visas.
No one teaches you. It's like when
nobody teaches you about this visa thing.
They don't teach us taxes or credit cards or
that's a good point. I think that every young surfer should be in a little bit of a little seminar in which to understand when you get paid in gross, you're still going to owe some of those tax dollars. So don't consider your gross your bottom line.
See, these are things
coaches
are great for. Yeah,
you guys talk to Sonny about taxes?
We have not.
We haven't had him on yet. We've seen him around.
But
he's a good guy to ask about that question.
Get this way. Oh, I actually thought he didn't make that.
Ooh, that was Eli again.
But yeah, learning those life skills along the way for this, I think it makes them more comfortable. And then they're gonna surf better. They're gonna get better. They're gonna be comfortable. They're gonna have better careers. Because we've been debating whether, how far put your arm here, draw it out more, don't try a floater there, don't try an air, those types of things, and that can probably play mind games as well.
Sure. The amateur surf coach goes like this. Okay, now go out there and catch 2 good waves. You got 25 minutes. Okay, you can do it. Really? Like, it's like we don't have a playbook or anything. You know what I mean? It's like
okay, cool.
Gotcha.
That's awesome. Kaibo, tell us a little bit about your own personal progression, not so much as a surfer, but the commentary thing. You're a local beach announcer here in Hawaii, and then These days you're traveling the world with
Those isn't that crazy?
Those bright lights are bright
They
there, man.
let me in. It's the strangest thing. It's cool. I'm stoked. Like you talk about dream job. I started beach announcing here with 2 speakers and a microphone on Hasa's, which is our amateur series, the Hawaii Amateur Series, and then from there.
And at that time, you were working in the industry?
Yeah, I was a sales rep, and I was just wanting to keep in touch with what everything was going on. And honestly, at that time, $150 a day, was meaningful for me. So I was kind of grinding on the weekends too, just to make some extra money, because it's expensive over here. Hawaii, like I make the joke in Hawaii is like, I need 3 jobs in Hawaii to afford where I grew up, because it is not a cheap place to live. So then I did that, and then got hired about 10 years ago to start working on the Triple Crown. And Triple Crown led into the good people at Vans, let me do the U.S. Open for a few years, and then that rolled into more events. And
so you didn't get your start like I did.
No, this is the start. This is the start.
Right here. This is my set.
This is a giant start for you, Travis, because you don't have the handheld microphone.
Yeah.
You skipped
this
the whole thing.
This looks easy.
Straight to the headset.
Yeah. They just tell you what to do.
How do you like it? Do you like it?
Yeah, I like it. It's. I mean, the like range of guests we've had has been so fun. Of the perspective, I think, and this style plays into my style more. Where there's so much more going on than the heat, and you guys nail that. And I just like to dive into all this.
There's a lot of other stories here, for sure.
Yeah, so that's fun. Just perspectives is cool to me. So I'm enjoying it. I'm fumbling through. I saw Joe out the other day surfing. I'm like, how am I doing? Pointers? What do I do? First headset I'd had on in my life. And
were you able to identify Joe Turpel? Because he's kind of like, he does have a disguise right now.
Barely.
He is hiding out from the general public right now with his disguise. I
don't even know if I want to give it away.
I don't want to give it away either, but it's not the Turpel that you're used to seeing right now on the North Shore.
A little edgier, Joe. Floating around over here.
Could be like you're stranded on a desert island for maybe a couple of months and think about how you would look.
Or you move to the North Shore and just really commit to your surfing and your
I can't wait till Joe drops in on me at Rocky Point and says, tells me to go back to town.
Underground Joe.
You'll see, guys. I hope everyone gets to see Joe on his off season.
We're about to let you go, Kaipo, because you got to get back some heats to get on with. But
the main stage.
Let's go real big picture. Who's going to win the world title in 2018?
Oh, you like that big picture? 2018. We haven't even started. We haven't even seen the first running of the horses right now. And I don't want to be anti-Hawaiian because I am Hawaiian, but the fire of Gabe Medina is real. Okay, and it makes for an exciting storyline, and it's a rivalry. Can you do it 3 times in a row, John? Sure, but there's something about Gabe's intensity, because at the end of the day, Binzi, it's not always the best surfer. He's the guy who plays the game the best. And so we'll see what Gabe Medina does. So.
What about Gabriel Medina's mate, Felipe Toledo? The schedule changes, no cloud break, no trestles, wave pool coming on board.
Look at you, journalists, coming through with that. Yeah, you took cloud break out of the picture, and that makes Felipe a lot
more interesting.
Karamis, he's the defending champion. No, Gabe's the defending champion in the wave pool.
Yep. Yeah, I think in that kind of cognitive kind of situation, because I believe the wave pool is going to be a cognitive play. It's going to be more of a mind game on how you put together basically your runs.
Yep.
That's going to be.
We've generated some great ideas for runs, but
Between
lots of obstacles.
Kai Lenny and Noah Deane, we've got rails, foils, helicopters, and a lot of toys we're going to bring to the pool.
We've redefined wave pool surfing before it's even got started.
Oh, what about a section where everyone's throwing, water balloons at you? The water balloon section
we'll add
right
that
there.
To the board.
And we just start throwing water balloons at the guy as he's surfing and see if he can surf through the water balloon.
This could be maybe I have that role at the wave pool.
Okay, so Kaipo, there it is. You've predicted a Brazilian first and second. Hopefully John John's not tuning in right now. Maybe
I'm sure he's not tuning in. He's at Snapper right now.
Yeah, he's busy.
Is he going to make it back for his heat?
He'll make it.
What's the inside scoop?
I think it's going to be bombing. I don't think John John's going to want to miss it. He's probably right now. He's probably going to lay flat on Hawaiian Air or Virgin on his way back over, or Qantas maybe. Maybe he's got the pajamas on right now as we speak.
It's all messed up right now. We've got Noah Deane here on the North Shore and John John on the Gold Coast. Yeah. And John John's posting Instagrams with Art of War quotes, and Noah thinks they might be aimed at him because they're in the heat
together.
I
hope he comes back or he's not playing games. I think Noah actually thinks he's he is here, and that was from a few weeks ago, and he's hiding out in his house.
I'll tell you, hey, Sun Tzu, he has it on the money, man.
Yep.
You can defeat your opponent before you even enter into the arena, man.
Yeah.
I love it. I love the Art of War quotes.
Awesome. Kaivo, we love having you on the show.
Thank you.
Hopefully we'll catch up with you again on the other guys before we're through. We're going to throw to a quick highlight package right now and be back with more of the other guys from the Volcom Pipe Pro right after this.
Oh, my gosh.
Who the hell are you?
We're the other guys. Welcome back to the other guys, the Volcom Pipe Pros alternate commentary stream. We're drawing to the close of day 2 here on the other guys. My name's Chris Binns. I'm from Red Bull Surfing. Travis Ferre is alongside me from White Youth. Pretty incredible day.
Yeah,
the characters we've
ran all
talked
over. And now that we are back in the contest, Eitan Osborne, he's from Ventura, is having like the career surf of his life at Backdoor right now. He's a young guy from Ventura, and this is what happens. You get out there and you get a few.
Wow.
He's got like 3 or 4 runners. But so that's fun. That's what's been happening while we've been hanging out with
gas bagging away over here. We've talked to all sorts of people. Kai Lenny, that was incredible. I don't really like watching my own work, but
Yeah.
I'm probably going to go back just to try and soak up some more of what
He's a little
he said.
buzzed up on what Kai got us hyped, I think is what
Well, to be honest, I don't think we knew what we were exactly getting. Kai's, pretty well media trained, and being media savvy can often lead to, pretty vanilla conversations, but everything he came out with was gold. That was insane.
Yeah, very interesting kid. I knew he was nice. I'd heard that he's a great guy, and but wow, his creativity on what he wants to do in the ocean and in his life is pretty inspiring.
Not quite as media savvy, but just as inspirational in the water. Noah Deane before him gave us some good stuff.
Yeah, just Noah came and got candid and told us about his North Shore experience, and he thinks John's playing the Art of War on him on Instagram right now because they have a heat together.
Born a goofy footer.
Born a goofy foot.
There's breaking news here on the other guys. Noah Deane, born a screw foot, had his dad, the legendary Wayne Deane, one-time world longboard champion, to thank for setting him up the right way. Someone just stepping off. That's Riley Lang, young Australian. He's been a competitor at Cape Fear in the past, so he's not afraid of a big wave or two. We had your mate Arto Saari, legendary skateboarder and photographer from Finland, now living here on the North Shore. That's
pretty cool to see his transition, because when I met him, he'd never heard of surfing but was fascinated. And now surfing and skating, and now he lives on the North Shore. It's cool to see for me, and I know he's inspired a lot of surfers and skaters and pretty much anyone with his parts back in the 90s. With I think Minefield was a video that came out. His part was the first skate video I'd connected to, and his part, and that was insane.
It's amazing watching some of these replays, how many guys get the sickest tubes.
Yeah.
And then they're almost so shocked when they come out, they just fall off doing
Yeah,
these
they don't know what to do
turns afterwards.
Yeah, it's no joke out there.
One of the probably highlights for us, but lowlights for him, we just saw Jay Kelly get back-to-back whoopings in his heat. A bunch of boards, and you'd imagine he'd be feeling pretty sore tomorrow after all that he's just copped.
Yeah, he dove off the top of 2 from the, it's probably the one thing they tell you not to do, I'd imagine, when they give you pointers.
Talking of surfers, one of our favourites here on the other guys, Kalani David, is coming up in the next heat. We're going to go try and slap a sticker on his board before he paddles out.
Oh, I've got stickers here ready for him.
He's our dog who we're backing all the way to the hill. Throw that thing up there, show everyone
there
what
we
we're
go.
talking about.
Kalani, come grab him.
And yeah, Kalani
It's a great logo.
In the next, it is an awesome logo.
They're making us, so we got to wrap this up, and we get to go watch this live.
Yeah, and listen to.
We're going to listen to the main stage.
Yeah,
and,
feel free to tune in to the main guys on the main Volcom Pipe Pro stream on Red Bull
Yeah.
TV after this.
Been a fun hiatus.
It has been. Well, and you know, if you have been following along on Facebook, on Red Bull Surfing or Stab's Facebook page, feel free to drop us comments, feedback, let us know if there's anyone you'd like us to chase down on the North Shore. We'll be back for Hawaiian brunch. The other guys' style here in the backyard from 10 till 1 tomorrow. It's been a real blast hanging out with you. And,
Refill.
Yep, I think we're going to go refill
Refill
our
us.
coconuts and settle in for an epic afternoon of action right here at the Bonsai Pipeline, the Volcom Pipe Pro. Don't go anywhere.
Oh my gosh.